Gary Summers from Antiques Roadshow on PBS and allcollectors.com. A pretty amazing appearance. I mean, we knocked on the door to $100,000 worth of stuff. It's Jay Thomas.
Some kind of happiness is measured as you smile. What makes you think you're something special when you smile?
Bulldog. You look like a bulldog, Rodney. It's like that'll be your song. That's one you don't hear very often. The Beatles, the Jay Thomas Show. Gary Summers from what is it? Allantiques.com. What is it? What do you call it? Gary, what do you call your website? What is it called?
Allcollectors.com.
All right.
Oh, Jay, one of the first items. Beatles' first state Butcher album.
You don't have to yell like that, Gary. You don't have to shout. I don't know why you're shouting. You made Rodney cry. Now, Gary.
No! Go ahead.
We'll tell you why he's crying in just a moment. Go to allcollectors.com. Is that it?
That would be it, Jay. Yes, thank you.
All right. Now, are you calling from the toilet? Because it's like an echoey thing here.
No, it's new technology.
It's not working.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Telephone. Can you hear me now?
We can.
It's called Fuzzy Foam.
This has been a big phone day for us because we led into you, Gary Summers, who you see from Antiques Roadshow, still on PBS, I guess. And Gary's the long-haired cat with the flowered shirt, former rock and roll. Weren't you a big rock and roll aficionado at one time? What did you do early on? You had some fabulous job, didn't you?
Yeah, I played in bands. I was a booking agent. I produced about 1,000 concerts. Nothing much.
You did that in San Francisco for Bill what's-his-name, right?
No, I was in Chicago, Madison, Wisconsin, and Boston.
That's what I meant. You were in the whole Midwest. That's what I meant to say. Did I say San Francisco? I had the map upside down again. Now, for those of you, by the way, who'd like to wake up to the Jay Thomas Show, well, you can do it. 101 tomorrow, Howard 101. And don't forget, it's Sirius 7, totally 70s, on Saturdays from 8 to noon. And if you have something you think it may be of value, Gary Summers does psychic appraisals. Call us at 888-4-102-102 right now, and mostly rock memorabilia and stuff. And so call us and tell us what you have, because a couple of times, thousands of dollars of stuff came in. We were shocked at some of the money people said.
I got a shocking one here, Jay.
Sure. Gary, listen to this sad story from my buddy Rodney Lee Conover. Rodney, you were sued as a common law husband in the state of Texas.
Yeah, in the 80s.
In the 80s.
One of the things I lost were my Beatle albums, and guess what I had? I had a sealed First State Butcher cover album.
Ooh. Well, that's a sad story, Rodney. I'm so sorry. It's about $25,000 to $35,000.
It says $44,695 here on the sheet here.
Yeah, that's good. If you can get it? But that was the high bidder. The underbidder was probably in the $35,000.
Is that right?
No, yeah, but it's an easy $35,000 for a still sealed one.
The one that shocks. Why do they call it Livingston? Because it's the producer that had him like in his office or something.
No, that's the Livingston plant. It was a plant where they pressed them and shrunk wrap them, and then they returned them and pasted it over.
Didn't they send that out as promotional albums to like PDs and stuff?
They did originally send out some promos, and the promos are worth more money, but none of the promos were shrink-wrap sealed. They were stamped with a rubber stamp on the front or back cover, DJ copy, not for sale.
Well, the one that shocks me, the two that really, really shocked me, in addition to the losing my State Butcher cover, the Beatles' Shea Stadium concert poster. Now, this is just a poster, $130,000. I can't believe it.
Now that Shea Stadium is about to be torn down.
Yeah, but that's their famous.
I know, but does that make it worth more now that Shea? I mean, just because it goes, front of mind, like does it mean anything that Shea's going away?
Of course it means something. I mean, realistically, the Beatles played there 3 times, 3 years, about 60 to 70,000 people each time. And so, Sid Bernstein really didn't have to print up many posters or do much advertising at all, and they all sold out. Actually, the third show, the 66 show, didn't sell out, and that's the one that sells for the most money because there was the least amount of promotional marketing things made for that. But so maybe there was a couple of hundred posters made, tacked up, taped up, ripped up, and to find one that's still complete and in good condition is extremely rare.
Oh my God! How does the death of each Beatle as it comes along affect the Beatles memorabilia? And who do you got money on is going to be the
Heather
survivor?
Mills should have poisoned Paul. I poisoned Paul. I poisoned Paul.
Heather tried, but she failed. But
Is George Harrison gone up in dollar figures?
Yeah, both George and John are the higher selling items, but actually in the 60s they made more Ringo and Paul stuff because they were the most popular cute Beatles during 64 and 65. But realistically, the prices are going to go down when the audience that remembers them starts to die off.
Yeah.
Wait a second. What about the Monkees? Does their stuff sell the Monkees?
Well, Monkey stuff sells a little bit. It's not as popular as the Beatles, and it has gone down in value. But really, you may not know this. Jimi Hendrix opened up for the Monkees in a concert. Jimi Hendrix was the opening act for the Monkees in 1967 for just a couple of shows, and after he masturbated on stage with his guitar, they had to take him off the show.
What's that DNA worth? You know. Hey, my mom has these Yellow Submarine Goebel figures. Do you have to have all four of them, or can you part them up?
What are they?
You know, they're the little figurines. They're
like Hummel figurines.
Yeah, they're like Hummel.
Beatles.
Yeah.
Of them walking across the street. No, in the outfits.
Yeah,
no,
they're kind of cute, made in the 60s and breakable. So to find them that aren't broken, and they didn't make that many. They were quote-unquote limited edition. And so they actually did limit those. And they'll sell for about $1,000 or more per figure. So if you don't have the full, but having the full set adds value.
Yeah.
Your mother has how many?
I think she's got the full set, although I'll have to check this out.
Why would
it's about $5,000.
Because my mom collected all the Hummels and Goebel. She has
all these things. It's just
she was a big Beatle fan when I was young. She would always buy me the Beatle album whenever it came out, and she loved the Yellow Submarine because it was animated. She thought that was cute.
Now you have a note written by John Lennon to Bob Dylan, worth like $20,000. What's on the note? What does it say?
It
says, Bob, please articulate.
Yeah, Bob, what the fuck are you singing about?
It probably said I'm jealous.
No, but do you know what it says? What does the note say? Did you sell this, or is it just something you're selling on your website?
No, I didn't sell that one. I don't know. That might be somebody else's. There's so many things floating around right now. But a letter from John Lennon to Bob Dylan, we don't even know if Bob ever received it. It's one of those kind of things that, if you saw a return address at J. Lennon, New York City, would you keep the envelope or would you deliver it? What kind of postman are you?
Oh, you mean you think maybe the postman stole it?
I don't know. Where did it come from? How did it get into circulation? Did Bob ever read it? There's all kinds. Did John actually write it? All kinds of things have to be thought of before you do that. And then the provenance. How did it end up in this guy's hands?
Right.
Hey, how did the Beatles get talked into doing a bobblehead? And was that given away at some sort of sports event, or how did that work?
Well, Brian Epstein kind of learned from Colonel Tom Parker and Walt Disney that
he was a queer.
Was he? He
was a queer.
He was weird, I'll admit to that. But
he was in love.
He
was in love with Paul, wasn't he? And he killed himself because he loved
John.
Paul. He loved
John.
Killed himself because he loved John. That's right.
The issue becomes is he was smart enough to know that people all over the world would buy crap if the Beatles' pictures and name was on.
The benefit of Mr. Kite. There will be a show tonight on Trampoline. Oh, bullshit.
Gary, did you think that you think that was good stuff when you were a kid? Did you think that was interesting? This shit.
Garrett's not here.
No, Gary.
Oh,
Gary Summer.
Well, I'd
Remember
have
the
to
guest?
say, Jay, it wasn't rock and
Hey, you know,
roll.
Roddy, it's a good show. You ought to try and get on it.
What are you talking about?
I said Gary, who's our
I
guest.
thought you said Garrett.
I said Gary.
Who's on trial for murder.
He's not. Speak. He's in the jury.
Do you know what's going to be worth a lot? Is his bail bond.
By the way, whatever your junk, whatever stuff you have, Gary can tell you. It doesn't have to be records. 888-4-102-102. Yeah, Gary, go ahead.
Gary loved this music.
It's not rock and roll. Benefit of Mr. Kite was for people on LSD.
Yes,
right.
I hate
so,
it.
Rodney, we know where you were.
When I was 6 years old, I was on LSD.
I was kind of a narc when I went to college. I didn't turn anybody in, but I wasn't into it.
I bet you did.
I didn't.
Bet you did.
You know what?
I'll bet you
but there was a guy who did.
And left.
in Knoxville, Tennessee, there was a guy who did, and then years I went back, he had become the chief of police. He was like a college student, had become the chief of police, and I think ran for mayor. And he started off narking kids in the dorm. But he was really clean cut looking and everything else. They should have known not to smoke in front of this asshole. I need to get his name.
Hey, Gary.
Expose him.
What should... I think I have an interesting question here. What should people be collecting now that will be worth something 20 years from now? What are the types of things
Jay Thomas Show hats
we should be hanging on to? Like a It's a Mess Down There t-shirt.
JThomas.com. Yeah, it's a Mess Down There t-shirt.
But that's a serious question for
Jay Thomas Show hats. Yes, go ahead.
A serious question's tough on this show, but I would say that the kids right now are really deep into computers and computer games and video games, and those things just started maybe 20 years ago. If you could find original computers from like the late 60s, early 70s, and the video games from the 70s and early 80s, I think those are the kind of things that will be in demand in the future when we're just a computer society.
Boy, that's a boring future, isn't it, Gary?
Tim of Michigan, the Jay Thomas Show. What do you have, Tim, that you think may have some value? What do you have?
I have Winchester Model 94 that I know was made in 1898.
Wow.
Because you were there?
My kid, who remodels old guns and stuff, would go absolutely nuts. It's the lever action like John Wayne used?
Yeah, and it is the 30-30 model.
Oh, my God. Do you know about guns, Gary?
I know a little bit. I know that should be insured for somewhere around $10,000 to $15,000.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
You've got a 10 to... Now, let me ask a question. Does the gun work?
Yes, it does. In fact, I keep it old. I got it about 4 years ago. It was my grandfather's. That's how I ended up with it.
Did you hit anybody?
And this thing looks, it's beautiful.
Get somebody in the ass with that last shot?
Now, you've got a $10,000 to $15,000 rifle. Now, what should he do with it, Gary? Should he pack it in something, or where does he take that?
Well, the good news about a gun like that is you got to keep it safe anyway. So keeping it out of the sunlight, keeping it away from atmosphere is good for that. Preserved archivally, maybe in a plexiglass box. I would not add any oil to it. It's been in your family all these years, so you're probably not going to sell it unless Day talks you into it.
Yeah.
And he's not going to give you that kind of money.
No,
so
I'm not.
You might as well insure it. So
yeah, you need to. Now, Tim, here's the deal. Now that you know you have something of incredible value, and don't oil it anymore, okay? Do you want to sell it or do you want to keep it?
What was that?
I say, do you want to sell it, or do you want to...
no. No, it was my grandfather.
Who gives a shit? The old bastard's dead. He has no use for it.
My grandfather got this elk with this rifle out in Colorado.
The elk's dead, too. The elk is dead. Your granddad is dead. Everyone that cares about the fucking rifle's dead. Sell it.
Sell it.
Nah, hell no.
Even Charlton Heston's dead, so you don't have to pry it out of his...
That's right.
Do you know what you could do with $15,000?
You can buy 2 gallons of gas.
Yeah, really.
And some Starbucks.
That's right.
I can do more work on my Falcon.
Okay, listen.
You got a push-button Falcon?
You know what? You need to protect this 1898-94 Winchester, and
you know what he should do to protect his Winchester?
What?
Buy a gun.
That's right. You need to buy a gun, but you need to go on these sites and go to these. You should drive wherever the big city is near your home, in Michigan. Go to one of these gun shows, and hell, I wouldn't take it. Well, maybe is it Gary? Should he take it with him? Is it dangerous? Because someone would knock him on the head to get that gun, wouldn't they, Gary?
Well, there's probably more expensive guns at a major gun show. You know,
I've been to those Rambo shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rambo shows. They're all carrying Uzis, so having a 30-30 don't mean anything.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good luck, Tim. You had something worth 10 to 15 grand.
Thank you.
All right. Allcollectors.com. And Gary Summers is unbelievable. You thought he was some kind of stoner, only knew about,
Talking about me?
No, Gary.
No, I thought Gary was a stoner?
No, I'm talking to the listener.
Because I thought Gary was great from the minute he came on this show. I love this guy.
This is a radio show.
Anybody who loves the Beatles,
the you I say is you plural. It's like it's a thing. It's what
you're talking like you people.
You people, you folk out there. You black, you white folk. That's what I was saying.
What about brown?
Whatever color you want to be. Let's go to Mike of Nebraska. Mike, what do you have?
Hey, Jay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
Hey, I don't know if you know this, but an 1849 Civil War sword.
Well, that's early, 1849.
Well, 1849 is before the Civil War.
Yeah, that was
pre. Maybe it was manufactured in 1849, but if it was used during the Civil War, that would make it a Civil War sword. You need the provenance to prove that.
What's that? The provenance. What's the provenance?
I'm a member of the program.
The knowledge of who had it. It'd be great if you had a photograph by Matthew Brady of the soldier in uniform holding the sword.
Okay, here's the deal.
Yeah.
It belonged to a 14-year-old drummer boy in my family, and the tips cut off because it drug on the ground.
Wow. And now he was a Yankee, right?
Yeah, he'd played the drum in a little Civil War band or whatever.
Oh, my God. They gave him a sword, little boy with a sword and a drum, and he beat the drum, and he dragged the sword on the ground, and the tip broke off.
I would say, Jay, that's probably a $5,000 to $10,000 sword.
Holy shit! We're having one of those days again.
Really?
Mike, you got 5,000 to 10,000 of your was your great something or other, right?
Yeah, I'll never sell it, but...
Oh, what is the matter with you people?
Sell.
Sell
Have a good time in this life.
But you know what, Mike? You've got to protect it. You know, you've got to make sure, you can go online and find out how to protect it. My son, who has swords and guns and the whole thing, he's also taking some Prozac. I hope it doesn't explode on him. But he protects all of his stuff. That's really valuable. And so you got to wrap it up, and you can't let the kids play with it on the weekends.
No, I won't.
You don't chop anything with it, do you?
How about a John Entwistle autograph on a John Entwistle solo CD? Is that worth anything?
Yeah, John Entwistle, since he passed away, his autograph's gone up to about $100 on a CD or more if it's on like a guitar or a drum head or something like that.
Okay.
How'd you meet him? How'd you meet John Entwistle?
Coke deal?
He was doing for his solo CD at an art gallery in Denver.
And you went up to him and he gave him the autograph.
That's quite a story.
I bought a crappy. The CD's terrible, actually. But.
Yeah. How did he die, Gary? How did Entwistle go?
Heart attack.
Old age.
Oh,
I thought Entwistle
died of old age.
I thought it was at an orgy, doing too much coke at an orgy.
He had
a heart attack.
He was screwing at an orgy, Gary.
That is old age.
Oh, yeah. You know what?
When you die from sex, that is old.
When you're screwing and you die, you're old. That's true. All right, thank you, Mike. Hey, man, thank you very much. Let's go to John of Ontario. John, the Jay Thomas Show with Gary Summers. Go to allcollectors.com, and you can find out. By the way, when are you going to be back on the Antiques Roadshow? When do they start that up again, Gary?
We're out on tour right now. We're taping our 13th season. We'll be in Chattanooga, Tennessee this Saturday, then we're in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and then we're doing our final show of this season in Hartford. Mm-hmm. And today they announced the Emmy nominations, and we have received our 6th Emmy nomination.
Oh my God! Congratulations! My God! Listen to the crowd here at Sirius Satellite. People have come out of the coffee room. Have you ever won an Emmy before, Gary?
We still haven't won, but we've been nominated 6 times.
Hey, I have 2 of them. What are they worth?
Oh, an Emmy with your name on it in an auction would sell for $15,000.
No,
maybe more.
Sell.
No, it wouldn't.
Sell.
Well, I have one from 92 and one from 93.
And you want to hear the funny thing is the Emmy Association, the group that presents them, if they see them in an auction, they can go in and take it away and say, hey, this guy's not allowed to sell it.
Oh, really? How about if I shoot him with one of my kids' 1898 rifles?
Protect that Emmy.
Now, you know what? I don't take that good a care of those 2 things. I should probably hide them somewhere, right?
I don't know. I see you polishing them every time I'm
You're
over
a liar. I don't do that.
Oh, my God. You should see it, Gary. He's got it under plexiglass, and he's got armed guards.
I don't have that.
Shining it up.
I don't have that.
Oh,
John of Ontario. You have what, John of Ontario?
I have some. It's probably not worth very much, but I have a couple of cassettes that were autographed by Ozzy Osbourne a few years ago, and I'm just wondering what if when he does pass away, what is the value of something that was just autographed as opposed to something that has a certificate of authenticity?
When is that blubbering prick going to die anyway? So he gives us some value out of his shit.
Outlive the rest of it.
Yeah, what's it worth now? What
is his ashes going to be worth in terms of ounces on the street?
Yeah,
that's what I want to know.
Gary, what's it worth now?
The funny thing is what's a cassette? Okay, never mind. The Ozzy's autograph sells for $50 to $100 anyway, but the authenticity comes from if you saw him sign it. You write the story on a piece of paper, and it goes from hearsay to being real history because you wrote it down. And to me, a letter of authenticity is the guy who saw it signed, tells when, where, how he had access, and when it was signed, and that's the authenticity.
So,
okay, that's good.
You have all of that?
No, I was an editor at a TV station, and I heard one of the Bubblehead reporters was going to interview him, so I gave her a couple of my cassettes and probably a half dozen good questions to ask him, and that's how I got them.
Can you get? Well, you would have to have that would help too, getting a little a DVD of him being interviewed by the Bubblehead announcer.
This is true. I got all the raw footage from that. So.
What was her name? What was the Bubblehead's name?
I don't
and
dare
that would
say.
add value.
What's that? I want to know her name right now.
I don't dare.
Don't lie to me. Because you're going to have to go to her and say, look, you got to verify this. This could be worth $150.
Oh, I'm sure I can get a hold of her, and she'd be very happy to.
Little Bubblehead. All right.
And it'll double in value when he dies.
All right.
Yeah.
Boy,
Thanks, guys.
Doesn't look like he's ever going to. Now, why does he talk like that, Gary? Because of the drugs? Is that why he's all why does he talk like that?
I think he's old.
No, he's not. I think he's in his early 60s or whatever, but he's been talking like this for a long time. I think his mind is addled from the drugs.
Well, let's hope so.
No, but
got an excuse.
Rodney, he has like some sort of speech impediment or some nonsense. Gary, can you take some more of this after the break?
I'm with you, Jay, as long as you need me.
Hey, how much money would a tape of Jesse Jackson saying the N-word go for? That'd be a ton of money, wouldn't it?
Somebody has it.
Wait till you hear what my Emmys are worth. Gary Summers from allcollectors.com, The Jay Thomas Show.
The Jay Thomas Show. Afternoons. Indy.
Sirius XM 104.
Gary Summers. And then someone comes out of nowhere with maybe the biggest, I guess it's an antique, the biggest prize of all. We had to call Gary back. Unprecedented. The Jay Thomas Show.
Flames cut through my ears, flowing high and mighty track. Countless fire and flaming road, using ideas as my map.
I just lifted some of Jimmy Kimmel's fingerprints off of Sarah Silverman's plot. How much do you think those are worth? I don't know why I said that. That's so horribly rude. I'm not happy that they broke up, but I mean, he was a tad pudgy for her, I thought, Gary Summers is here, allcollectors.com, and of course he's on tour right now with Antiques Roadshow. They have any groupies, Antiques Roadshow groupies, Gary, that, love to just, get it on with you?
It's funny because there's so many that really want to grab those Kino brothers, but most of the groupies are about 60 years old and quite round.
Okay, that's my group. Rodney Lee Conover's in California. Hi, it's me, Jay Thomas, and I'm in New York City. Don't forget Howard 101 tomorrow morning when you wake up from 7 to 10 o'clock Eastern Time. We'll all be here. Bob in New Mexico, what do you have? Something sports related? That's what it says here. What do you have? Bob,
I have a baseball. I'm 54. My grandfather gave it to me back in the early 60s, and it was from Tucson. He lived in Tucson, and the Cleveland Indians would have their spring training there. Well, he was a bartender, and all the Cleveland Indians came in, and he had them sign this baseball, and it has Satchel Paige, and it has
holy shit.
Lou Bordeaux, who was he was a player manager. And it has all these Garcia. Now, I can't find Bob Feller's name on it, but it has all these Mike Garcia, who's in the Hall of Fame. He was a pitcher.
Right.
And it has all these other names on. I don't have it with me, but
now, what is a card?
No, it's a baseball.
And you've got Satchel Paige's signature on this.
Yes. Yes.
Gary, now I don't know if you know anything about sports values.
No. I asked one guy in a store in a mall about it, and he said it was about $500.
Yeah, he's lying.
He's lying.
Satchel Paige signed it by himself, it'd be worth $1,000.
Right.
So having the whole team on there adds value. It's an aggregation of values depending on who signed it.
Yeah.
So not knowing who signed it, and then, of course, the authenticity of having a nice letter from your grandfather telling you the story, that would be very helpful also.
Right.
But I would say that's going to be a $3,000 to $5,000 ball.
Yeah, that guy was bullshitting you, man.
Wow. No, he just wanted to buy it and resell it. That's what we do. It's part of the job.
Do you screw people like the mall guy, Gary? You some old lady comes up there and she's got like a clock and in like a Buddhist stomach, and it's worth 25 or 30 grand. You tell it's worth like $1,000. You ever do that?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to anymore.
No.
But one of the systems is if I say to somebody like, "You have that baseball? How much do you want for it?"
Yeah.
If he would have said $1,000 and I gave him $1,000. Fair deal if I sold it for 30 or not.
Okay.
But if he asks me what's it worth, I got to be honest and say, it's worth $3,000. I'll give you $1,500.
You better protect the ball. You got to protect
What's
the ball.
that?
Protect the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, I have it protected. My mom, when I was a little kid, I was headed outside to play with it. And she grabbed me by the back of the neck, the shirt collar, and pulled me back inside. So she had enough sense to save that ball.
This is what they do, and I learned this in prison. Wrap it in cellophane and shove it up your ass, and it stays perfect.
Well, I've had it in a baggie.
Well, that's good, too. Keep it in a tight
That's not
bag.
good. Not good.
Put it in a relative's ass. Now, you have the letter from your granddad? Your granddad?
No, he passed away in the 70s, and that story about him tending bar, my grandfather, when he gave it to me, he said he got it at a ball game. But a year or so ago, my dad told me, because we were talking about it, and he said, he was tending bar. He was a bar.
Now, Gary, suppose
a bunch of stories now.
Yeah, too many stories.
No. This is it's a true story.
So this lying old geezer, your old grandfather, this old drunken lying geezer, you got to be careful with this guy.
He was drinking at the ballpark.
What you need to do, dig your granddad up. Dig your granddad up.
Dig him up.
Put the ball into the skeleton's hand and put an Indian's hat on him and take a picture of that, and Gary could sell that for a ton of money.
He didn't want me to know he was a bartender.
Is that why? Wow. Isn't that funny?
He was an alcoholic when he was younger, and
didn't want you to know that, right?
Yeah. Well,
my dad's grandmother didn't want anybody to know she was a hooker in Terrell, Texas. She didn't want anybody to know. Yeah, she hooked.
There you go.
Hey, Bob, good luck, man. You got $3,000 to $4,000 there. Man, we're making a lot of money. And finally, Rod of Iowa. What do you have for Gary Summers, who is doing another amazing job as the psychic appraiser? Yes, go ahead, Rod of Iowa. Rod of Iowa.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm sorry, Rod of Iowa.
Okay, no problem. Have you been to Cold Spring Taverns lately, Jay?
You know what? I was just there a few weeks ago. How do you know that?
I've got a friend that lives out in Venice, and he used to live in Santa Barbara, and a few years ago I went to visit. We drove up there. It was a really cool place, and I thought you mentioned that once before, that you went up there once. So
I go up there with my motorcycle group on Sundays, and we have tri-tip, and we go up shooting. You know what we do? We shoot at illegal immigrants that are coming across the mountains in that area, and it's a lot of fun, and we call them skeet. People go, what do you do? We're shooting skeet.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what we do. Well, good. Try not to tell people where I go on the weekends, would you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, Rod of Iowa. What do you have?
Okay, I've got a CD. It's a Band of Gypsies CD, Jimi Hendrix Band of Gypsies CD, signed by Buddy Miles, who was the drummer with the band. Met Buddy about 5-6 years ago at a Tommy Bolin Music Fest here in Iowa, and he was performing and signed it for me.
Wow.
Well, Tommy Bolin's dead. I think Buddy's dead.
Buddy died this year.
Hey, you know what? Nothing but good news coming from Gary Summers, my friend. Nothing but good news.
The funny thing is Tommy Bolin never lived to see these happen, and Buddy Miles might not have, based on his lifestyle. But realistically, Buddy's autograph's only worth about $40.
Okay.
Wow.
What about Jim Dandy stuff from Black Oak, Arkansas? I've got some of his stuff autographed.
$40.
Go, Jim Dandy. Go, Jim Dandy.
Exactly.
It's probably, I love them. I saw them many times in about 72 and 73. But really, there's not a big audience. I mean, it's the only thing that really mattered out of Arkansas, and it's probably Jim Dandy autographs about $25 to $35.
Hey, you know what, Rod? You should send that stuff to Sean Kelly, and we'll give it away as shitty gifts.
No, I'll just
people
keep
answer a question or something. Hey, Rod, good luck. You got about $65 there in your hands, man.
That's cool. I'll just keep it. Thanks for appraisal.
Hey, man.
Love the show.
Oh, thanks a lot. $15K for the Winchester. The sword you said was about $10,000. My two Emmys are $30,000 in case we ever need it. The 1940 Indian baseball, Indians baseball, $3,000 to $5,000, and we ended with $65. Hey, Gary, great always. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Hey, Jay, I'm going to be in San Diego next week at the Comic-Con. You should be talking about comic books.
That's right. Comic-Con is a big deal. Now, are comic books still being made? The Japanese make them. Do we make them in the States still?
Yeah, Marvel and DC are still the big dominators. You know, with all these movies, the Batman movies out, Iron Man, Hulk, Hancock, it's all superheroes and comic books. No one's getting older. So
yeah, but you know what? The
saying
kids aren't.
13.
My kids never bought comic books. Ever.
They didn't learn to read?
They learned to read, but they would buy the big book. It would be like the whole what's the two names of the cartoon characters?
Chip and Dale?
No, I forget the name. I've watched the kids you know what? I've watched them read these books their entire lives. I can't tell you the names of the cartoons that they like. But what is not Tom and
Jerry?
No, my kids.
Archie and Veronica?
No, my kids are born in the 1990s, for God's sakes.
The Care Bears?
No, they read them to this day. They're kind of cutting edge. It's got two names to it.
In comic book world, there's only two types. There's superheroes and everything else.
All right. Is that a weird group at that Comic-Con? It's kind of an odd group, isn't it?
Absolutely. 120,000 people a day for 3 or 4 days. Everybody in show business is there, only because they're all trying to glom on to what's the next big thing.
Now, you're there next weekend?
Yeah, next weekend.
What's the date?
Wednesday through Saturday. I'll be there Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm going to be in the booth with Spike and Mike's Twisted Animation Festival.
No, but what? That's the 23rd through like
27th.
Wow, you know what, Gary? I may call you if one of the guys wants to go down there. We may meet you down there.
That would be great. Love to. I'd be happy to call in if you want a report from the floor or anything.
Yeah, report from the floor. Some sales or comic books or whatever. I don't know a damn thing about them, but okay. All right, thanks a lot, Gary Summers. I may see you in San Diego, okay? Go to allcollectors.com. Go see Gary in San Diego at that giant Comic-Con thing that's coming up, and watch the PBS show where he, of course, is part of the crew of Antiques Roadshow. All right, thanks very much. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, Pamela. Hello, my darling. What can I do for you?
Hi. Is this Jay?
It is Jay. It's either Jay Leno or Jay Thomas. Which one do you want it to be?
Jay Thomas will do today.
Hello, Pamela. Well, and Rodney Lee Conover is with us. What can we do for you?
Hi, Pamela.
Hi. I love your show, by the way. I listen to it every afternoon on my way home.
Wow, where do you work? What do you do for a living? How do you fight fascism and Islamo-terrorism? What job do you do for the American people?
I care for seniors. I work in an assisted living, so on my way home every afternoon.
What do you do? I didn't quite hear that. What do you do?
Oh, sorry. I care for seniors in an assisted living.
She cares for seniors?
Yes. So
now, do you have to clean their poo-poo?
Yes, I do everything.
God. We're going to give you a gift, Pamela, because they had to do that for my mother, and as soon as I knew, my mother's face would turn red, just like a child.
Right.
She'd sit in the chair, and she'd be going, and then she would start to strain, and her jowls would kind of poke out, and the next thing you know, we knew Mom had dropped a hot one into the old hamper.
You know, somebody has to do it.
You know what? Hold on, Pamela. Hey, Pamela, you know something, Rodney? Sometimes I discuss myself in my...
Hey, you know who that was, Jay?
What?
Satan.
I ruined my own afternoon with that.
That's right.
Yes, sweetheart, what can we do for you?
Okay, I
have, from when I was in England, where I was born, I have the original Beatles signatures on the photo cards from the early 60s, from when I hitchhiked from my hometown to Liverpool. And they had a
Now,
show
which
on.
Beatle did you sleep with, Pamela?
Oh, I didn't sleep with them. I was only 14.
Well, back then, that was legal.
I didn't.
You would
do
say to the
anything.
police, "My God, it was Ringo," and they'd let him go, and you'd walk away with a smile.
Yeah, I was too scared. My upbringing wouldn't allow me to do anything like that. You didn't talk about or even think about sex at 14 in England.
Well, a few years later, did you sleep with a Rolling Stone or
No.
how about a Kink? Did you ever sleep with a Kink?
No, I didn't.
A Moody Blue. A Moody Blue. Not the blue,
no.
not the whole band, just
Moody
one of them.
Blues, yeah,
Moody Blue.
No, I used to listen to them all, but no. But I did get the 4 signatures on photo cards with my name on it in the 60s, and just wondered how much are they worth.
Now, did you meet the Beatles, or you sent it in and got the signature?
No, I met them. They signed the photograph specifically to me on that day, so it's dated with my name on it.
You know what? I have to tell you. You know what, Sean? I mean this. I think this is... Rodney, do you agree? This could be big. I'm not kidding.
Oh, this could be huge.
You know what, Pamela? We're going to call Gary back.
Okay.
Because I think, all kidding aside, you stood close enough to John, Paul, George, and Ringo and got these things. Can it be verified? That's what Gary's going to ask you.
Right. I mean...
you have witnesses that would sign a piece of paper that said, "I was with Pamela."
I have a girlfriend that we hitchhiked together, and she would verify because she has the same thing as I have.
Does she have a picture of it?
Yeah, well, not of the signing, no.
No? Okay.
They were only read.
And was it in the newspaper, a certain, these are the things that Gary needs for value. Okay. Hey, you know what? Hold on. Hey, Gary Summers of allcollectors.com. It's Jay again. How you doing?
Anytime, Jay. Call me.
God, we lost Pamela. How did we lose her?
Pamela, call back.
Pamela, you got to call back. Gary.
Yes, sir.
This woman just called and said that when she was 14 in England, she met the Beatles, and all 4 of them signed individual cards to her.
Nice.
And she can prove it, and has a girlfriend that can prove it. What do you think that's worth?
I would say between $10,000 and $15,000.
For each card or all together?
For a total of 4.
Wow.
Easily $10,000. Now, that's because she saw them signed. There's a lot of people that go out and they get a John from here and a George from there, but seeing them all signed and having the story, that's easy $10,000 sale, or you can insure them for about $15,000.
And now, if people are interested, and do they just type you to allcollectors.com and email you and say, "This is what I have," and maybe they want to sell? Everybody called in wants to keep the stuff, you know.
Yeah, isn't that funny how your whole audience wants to keep their stuff, and what's wrong with these people?
I haven't the faintest. You know what? I thought I had a bunch of worthless pikers listening to this show. Rodney, were you not shocked that no one wanted to sell, in this terrible economy, no one wanted to sell their memorabilia?
Well, that's because memorabilia is kind of a weird area, because really, what is something worth that you're not willing to sell? The answer is it's worth 0. The only thing that's worth anything is something that goes to market. Well, something that doesn't go to market is only worth your emotional attachment to it.
I don't know what the hell. I have no idea what he's talking about. It sounded like you're on some sort of a drug or something.
No, but if you're willing to sell it, then it's worth something.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. It sounds like you've joined a cult. That's what it sounds like. You're some cult.
He's drinking the Kool-Aid.
Gary, does it make any sense to you, what Rodney just said?
Absolutely. I mean, so many people come into Antiques Roadshow and they're carrying something and it's extremely heavy, extremely ugly, and they say, my grandfather left this to me, and we have to tell them that it's really worth nothing.
It's like somebody carrying Rodney in and going, "What's this worth?" Something heavy and ugly. What's this worth? And then you tell them and they decide not to sell it. You're always shocked.
No, it's with something that's old and ugly. You just sort of say to them, you know, it's got $1 million in emotional value, but you couldn't get $1 on the street.
Okay. Did Pamela ever call back? She fainted. We think she fainted dead away. But you know what? I don't think she was bullshitting us. I think she was absolutely correct. Anyway, Pamela, if you're still listening, or you went on a bridge or whatever the deal, or drove through some trees or some nonsense, Gary Summers says that set of cards is worth 10 to 15 grand. Get it insured and what? Put it in plastic. You know, put it in a safety deposit box someplace. Gary, right?
If you're not going to sell it to Jay for $10, you should keep it clearly in Mylar, acid-free, archival environment, because air and water and humidity will ruin them.
We got Pamela back. Thank goodness. Hi, the Jay Thomas Show. We got Gary Summers here, allcollectors.com. Pamela,
Hi, Gary.
Gary, this is Pamela. Pamela, tell Gary what you have exactly.
Okay, I have 4 photographs of each of the Beatles in the early 60s. Before they actually became famous, I hitchhiked to Liverpool with a friend of mine. We were both 14 years old, and we went to the rehearsal rooms, which was in the cellar of an old warehouse dock in Liverpool, and we'd heard about them, and we went along, we saw them rehearse, we didn't pay to watch them.
You snuck into the event, Pamela?
Sorry?
You snuck into the event?
No, anybody was allowed in.
All right.
We just went in, and you just got a stamp on the back of your hand. And we just went in. We didn't have to pay, and we had photographs because they had been in the English Musical Express, which was a musical weekly paper for teenagers. Mm-hmm. And so we have the photographs. And
is your last name Osborne?
Yeah. What accent is this you have, Pamela? Is this
This is north of England, yes.
Northern England, my goodness.
Yeah.
Now, Gary, this is going on longer than Braveheart. This story.
Oh, okay. Try to be quick.
Pamela, it's a lovely story, Pamela. I'm just waiting for you to pull your kilt up and tell us to kiss your arse. But, Gary, it's 4 pictures. Pamela was 14 years old. She and her girlfriend went. What now? Do you still think it's worth 10 to 15,000?
Absolutely. Being pictures makes it even better. But realistically, here we go again. It's just a story. You got to write it down.
You have to write the whole story, and then
What day? What date was it? Where was it? You have to write it all down.
All of
how
that.
did you, as a little kid? Was it 62 or 63?
I think it was 62. I have them in a deposit box in the bank right now in Ziploc bags, so they are secure.
Okay, so was it Ringo? Was it Pete Best or Ringo?
No, it was Ringo.
Okay, so it was like September or October of 62.
Wow.
Yes, it was the fall, yes. I remember that.
You might have something worth, now you write the story and she had a girlfriend with her, and do they go to a notary public and verify that the people spoke who they were in front of a notary public, Gary?
That's just fancy schmancy stuff. It's realistic, the story itself. People either believe the story or they don't, whether it's some seal of approval by some government agent or not.
Pamela, it's
so
at least
worth. Sounds good.
Yeah, it's at least worth 10 to 15 grand.
Oh, excellent.
Videotape yourself telling the story.
Okay.
The accent helps.
And listen, Pamela,
Pamela, I can
leave it, if you're not going to sell it, leave it to Jay Thomas in your will. After all I have done for you.
No, okay, give me 3 things that you've done for me in the last 3 days, Jay.
I've made you laugh. I've made you cry. I've made you wish you were dead. I've done those 3 things for you. I thank you.
Okay.
Are you kidding? I certainly have disappointed you. I've done a lot of things for you. All right?
Well, you know, over the years, I kind of messed about with these. I was going to give them away. And then about 20 years ago, I thought, I'm going to keep these.
Good.
And it's my retirement. Some of my retirement.
It's her retirement money, Gary.
Jay, ask her the question. Is she going to sell them?
Are you going to sell them, Pamela?
No, I'm going to keep them.
There you go.
Good God.
Then you know what they're worth, Jay?
What?
Nothing!
thing.
All right. Hey, Pamela, write the story and sell it to McGraw-Hill and make it a movie. Pamela, I'm so glad you listened to the show, and you may have the most valuable thing today. Thanks so much. Hey, Gary.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right,
Great
sweetie.
show. Love you all.
All right,
Bye.
love you too. There you go. There she is. The old pot smoker herself has got 4 beauties. Gary, thanks for what were you doing when we called you back? What did we pull you away from?
Lunch.
I see, having a little bite to eat. Well, that's about all the money I felt like making for Gary, okay? I got nothing for that, except a lot of fun for you. It's our best of show. It's me, Jay Thomas.
The Jay Thomas Show.
You have to humiliate for what?
It's fun.
It's the Jay Thomas Show.
Afternoons.
Indy. Sirius XM 104.
Boy, you got a rotten neighbor. And this guy had a rotten neighbor, and he said they smelled bad, and he started rottenneighbor.com. And I guess he's making money as ads and everything else. And he was on our show this week. It's Jay Thomas. Hi, the Jay Thomas Show. And I think one of the worst problems in the world is you move into a place or somebody moves in next door to you, and it doesn't take a lot, and it ruins your life when the neighbor does a bunch of crap to you. And I read about Brant Walker. Welcome to the Jay Thomas Show. How are you, Brant?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Good, man. And this is my friend Rodney Lee Conover. I'm in New York, and Rodney's in Los Angeles.
Hey, man.
Yeah. Now, Brant.
Not neighbors.
No, I don't have a lot of neighbors, and I have big walls, and I'm not a friendly guy.
Good fences make good neighbors.
That's right. But most people, Brant, don't have the luxury of the millions and millions of dollars that Rodney and I have spent on housing.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So not everybody can build the giant walls and the moats and the gates and the whole thing. So how did you decide to start rottenneighbor.com?
I started it over a year ago when I moved into my new apartment, and I literally noticed a rotten smell coming from our neighbors.
From them physically or from their room? I mean, they smelled or the room smelled?
The room smelled. We believe it was their cooking.
Was that near Irving Park in Damon in Chicago?
No, it was out of San Diego, but...
Because I do some of that cooking. I thought you were referring to me.
No, wait a minute. Where town is this in that this happened?
San Diego.
Oh, in San Diego. What a lovely place. And there you are, and the next thing you know... Now, was this a family from a foreign country?
How many people were living in that apartment?
Was it one of those deals?
Yes, it was one of those deals, yes.
And so, look, in New York, you walk up and down the apartment building halls, and some horrible stench, goats being roasted and stuff. So, how do you deal with that? Was it religious? Do you think they were cooking some religious juice in there, stuff?
Could have been, maybe.
So what do you do? What did you do?
Well, I thought, what if, there needs to be a service available out there that lets you... search and notify you of people like this, so you could possibly move into a different neighborhood or different neighbors. If that was available, I could have picked a different apartment to live in.
So you warn people at rottenneighbor.com, and other people are allowed to go on, and it's kind of like you put your rotten neighbor, and you also have an aerial photograph from the satellite of where the exact locations of the rotten neighbors are.
Correct. We use Google Maps, satellite imagery, and you can browse your location by zip code, city, street address, and post a marker and flag the rotten neighbor wherever they live.
Here's a post. By the way, what's happened to your neighbors?
I actually moved out, so I no longer live there.
And they could just continued cooking?
Correct.
All right.
Did you get the feeling they didn't have a computer, maybe? You know what I mean? It might not affect them.
Yeah. What country were they from? Can you tell us?
I think it was Korean.
Koreans. Kimchi?
Kimchi, yes.
Oh, my God.
Doggy.
I'll tell you something. You cannot get that stink out of your clothes once it gets in there. I'm telling you right now. Oh, your breath either. I used to go to a spa and a massage place, and they said get out of here before 5:30 because when the Korean businessmen come in, they fart and they belch kimchi, and it makes the towels.
That's an unhappy ending.
It smells like that no man's land between North and South Korea. That's what the towels begin to smell
like the DMZ.
Right. Call us at 888-4-102-102 if you have a rotten neighbor story to tell us. Brant Walker is the man that has decided to save you at rottenneighbor.com. Brant, how many people do you think have hit your site, and how long have you had it running?
It's been running for about a year. We've had millions and millions of visitors.
Any lawsuits from people that said, how dare you put my name and address on a website saying I'm rotten?
We're protected under a law that was passed back in 1996. It protects most websites from stuff like that. So,
but can't.
So you can call someone rotten.
Well, you would have to, if you wanted to take that further, you'd have to go after the person who posted it, not the website. We're only a third party hosting the information.
Okay. So the people that...
You're the gun, not the bullet.
That's right. Okay, that's how it works.
Correct.
Okay. How do these kind of boring guys think of these things? It's a great idea, and he just sits there like a log. How do you think I feel? Here I am, Mr., talking it up and everything. I got to go back to the guy and go, hey, you still alive? Rotten neighbor guy? It's the Jay Thomas Show.
Jay Thomas.
The Jay Thomas Show.
It's the afternoon show. Sirius XM 104. The Jay Thomas Show. Indy. Sirius XM 104.
This guy is a spiritual surrealist painter. Couldn't make any money, so he changed his name to In God We Trust. And, of course, we've had all those nuts on. We had Veg Girl. We've had Stop Killing the Babies. Hot Cutter. I love these nuts. And I love listening to them again. And that's why we're having our, best of show.
Oh, life is bigger. It's bigger than you are not me.
In the history of the Jay Thomas Show, we've had a man who changed his name to Santa Claus, Ron Ryan. GoVeg.com, Karen Robertson has been on our show. Megatron, Michael Burrows has been, it is all official. Optimus Prime, Scott Nall has been here. Pro-Life, Marvin Richardson, we missed, unfortunately. Low Tax, Brian Looper has been with us. And Jesus Christ, Jose Espinal. They've all been on the Jay Thomas Show. And it's a tribute. And it's also something that I truly believe in. When you go in front of a legal judge and the judge changes your name, Rodney Lee Conover's name used to be Beelzebub, and he changed it to Rodney.
Baron von Conover.
That's right. It was Baron von Conover, and he became Rodney Lee Conover. Let's go now to In God We Trust. Welcome to the show, In God We Trust. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you?
Do I call you In God and We Trust as your last name, or is it just one name like Madonna?
Yes, sir. In God is my first name, and We Trust is my last name.
Well, I love that. So, In God, and now, what made you? Now, where did you do this? What city or state did you do this in?
In Waukegan, Illinois, Lake County.
There you go.
Yeah, Waukegan, Illinois, Lake County. Now, Rodney is from Chicago. What call you used to be Steve Kreuscher? Kreuscher.
Yeah.
And that's it. You're not that anymore.
No.
When people say, hey, Steve, do you turn?
Pardon?
When people say, hey, Steve, do you turn around?
Yeah, I still turn around and...
So you're still kind of Steve. Kind of.
Right.
Now, did God come to you and tell you to do this? How did this all happen?
No, I've been an artist for 42 years. I'm a very creative person. Mm-hmm. I write a lot, and like I said, I've been an artist for 42 years.
Do people know your work? Have people bought your work?
I got over 130 pieces on Yesy Online Art Gallery. You just type in God We Trust Yesy, and you'll find me.
Yeah,
all 130 pieces.
And have you? I mean, you have 130 pieces. Have you sold any?
No, I've sold prints lately. I'm still trying to get known.
You got any Beatles memorabilia? Because that sells.
No, nothing. He's doing another show. It's breaking into our show. Now, as In God You Trust, you think now this is going to launch your? What are your pictures of? What are your drawings, paintings? What are they?
title my style mystical surrealism.
Are they religious in nature?
Yeah, but they're very surrealistic also.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Mystical surrealism. Now, we have a guy here that has, and this is crazy, it's called Piss Christ, and it's Jesus, and it's in a bottle of this guy's urine. And this guy has a major art work. Have you ever heard of this guy, In God We Trust?
Yeah, I heard of that picture.
Do you ever draw a picture of the Virgin Mary and then pee on it?
No.
You wouldn't do that, would you?
In fact, one of my recent pictures and one of my best pictures is of the Virgin Mary.
Okay, good. You know what? I got a signal from God. I wouldn't have asked that question. You a married man? What's your wife think of the name?
No, I've been single for 20 years. I raised my 4 kids pretty much by myself.
Oh, you had one of those. She ran out on you, huh?
Yeah.
Now, were you just mad at her and you got traumatized and you changed your name?
No.
You're mad, aren't you?
Do with that.
You're supposed to forgive people.
Yeah. I've forgiven her a long time ago.
Doesn't sound like it.
Now,
Doesn't sound like it.
How long have you been in God We Trust?
Since June 13th, Friday the 13th of June.
Ooh.
In fact, I picked that court date on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, there was hardly any court cases, and I get right in and right out.
Because that's an unlucky day to go to court, right?
Right, but I chose it on purpose.
That's funny.
That is funny.
I'm going to remember that.
Did the judge try and talk you out of it, or did he say this is a stupid thing to do, or you don't want to do this, and did he say anything like that?
No, nothing like that at all. He just asked me if I had any outstanding judgments against me.
Get it? Judgments?
Oh, boy.
Right.
That's funny.
Oh, my goodness.
And then he asked if there was anybody in the courtroom that had an objection to it, and nobody stood up, so he said...
And a guy named Judas stood up, right?
Now, are you afraid in God that these atheists that we have been battling against here on my show, and we have a war against these atheists, that they are going to get In God We Trust taken off of the greatest, no matter, this Euro thing, nothing that a little nuclear attack will not change, my friend. We need to send some real war material over there and stop that economy in its tracks so that the American dollar, within God We Trust on it, will live forever. Is that why you did it, that we're under attack spiritually and monetarily right now?
That is a part of why I did it,
Good.
but I did it mainly for a new signature for my artwork that I've been thinking about.
No, it's always back to that artwork, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, where can people get it? You have a website?
Just all those pieces on Yesy online.
What is it? Yesy? How do you... Y-E?
Y-E-S-S-Y.
What is that?
It's an online art gallery.
Yesy.com, and go to In God We Trust. And the other thing the guy did is he made models of the various saints out of his own poo-poo. Did you know that?
I heard...
shit art. He called it shit art. And now, of course, I'm horrified by this. But yet people are buying this stuff. Do you know who has one of his pieces of piss art is this...
Mr. Whipple?
No. Who did I say yesterday has some of his art? The bicyclist guy. What's that guy's name? The guy, the one nutted bicycle.
One with ball?
Yeah, one ball. Lance Armstrong has it. You've got to pee on some of your artwork, unfortunately, I'm afraid.
Yeah,
You have a dog? Let your dog pee on it.
I feel nowadays with billions of great artists out there, you have to do something, but I chose to do something good rather than to do something like that.
There you go.
Ladies, now play the applause for God. Finally somebody said something. Rodney Lee Conover once had a prize fight.
Deuteronomy
once had a prize fight against a guy named My Lord.
Yeah.
And where was he from?
Pasadena.
From Pasadena. Now, that was his legal name at birth, right?
Yeah, his name was My Lord.
Well, how did you feel when you were fighting My Lord?
I felt like I was laying down and looking up at the ceiling most of the time.
Oh, he beat you.
He beat me hard.
But you tried to hit My Lord.
Well, he was 21 years old. Here I am, an old man, and I'm bouncing around. I'm throwing the jab. I'm sticking and moving. Yeah. And My Lord just knocked the shit out of me is what happened.
So you were beaten by a guy named My Lord.
Yeah.
Yessy, YESSY.com, In God We Trust. What's the most expensive piece you have, and what is it of?
I think it's $87,000.
My lord.
Wait a second. You're selling it for $87,000?
Yes.
What's it painted on $100 bills?
Wait a minute. And what is it of?
It's titled Go-Go's Halo. It's about Van Gogh, about his funeral when they hung up paintings around the room in the Rover's Inn where they had his funeral, and I got pictures of the inside of the Rover's Inn to draw from, and I did replica pictures of his in a circle above the coffin, and about 7 of them are shown, and the rest of them you see the backs of, and I titled it Go-Go's Halo.
Go-Go, and you spell it G-A-U-G-H, right?
G-O, G-O, apostrophe S, Halo.
But that's not how Van Gogh's name was spelled.
No, I read in another book that Americans call him Go-Go.
Oh, I see.
So
wow. That sounds like so $87,000 you want for that. Now, how many paintings out of the 130 have you sold over the years? How many?
Haven't, because I don't get them out. I dropped out of the public art scene in '73.
You're back in, my friend.
Pardon?
You're back in.
I'm back in.
In God We Trust. Go to Yesy.com and buy that. I guarantee you the $87,000 is going to go right off the bat, okay? Deuteronomy, thank you very much for being with us. In God We Trust. Good luck.
Bless you.
Thank you so much, okay, man?
Thank you very much.
In God We Trust. And it's me. My name is now...
Exodus.
No. No.
Satan?
No.
Satan.
No.
Say it.
Is it Satan?
Say it.
Satan. My name is Satan. You know what? It rolls off my lips. All right. That's all we can take of In God We Trust. $87,000, and it's not even in P? What are you, nuts?
Jay Thomas.
The Jay Thomas Show.
It's the afternoon show. Sirius XM 104. The Jay Thomas Show. Sirius XM 104.
It's the Jay Thomas Best Of. Do we have any Muslim music? It's time now for the Muslim Report, where I have scoured the world for various stories that have to do with Muslims. And because that's all of it. And these are good stories, these are bad stories, these are everywhere. I just need some sort of Muslim
like
music. And it's also going to be a terrorist. Oh, play Cat Stevens. Play that prick. He's a Muslim prick. Play that prick.
You
His
mean
name
Yusuf Islam?
Yeah, that prick. Cat Stevens becomes You know what my cat's name? Yusuf Islam. I named my cat that. Yeah, Yusuf Islam.
Perfect.
Here's Cat Stevens. What's the...
I don't know this song.
Oh, there you
Oh, there you go.
leave us this time. You're only dancing on this earth for a short while.
Right.
And though your dreams may toss and turn you now.
Right. Some terrorists.
They will dash away like a dance best.
Now, here's the strange thing. I loved Cat Stevens.
Oh.
And when I was building my house, I bought this little house in Woodstock, New York for like $20,000. And I was doing the yard myself and everything else. And I would get my back then it was a tape player, right? And I would put it in the window. So when I was working out, I had a couple of acres in this little house, and I would dig the rocks up and stuff, you know, and I'm planting grass, and I'd play Cat Stevens. I don't know why, I loved him. Then the guy quits and gives up the money and everything else. I hate people that give up money more than anything in the world.
Yeah.
There's something about people. I love this song. Turn this song. I love it. I never listen to it. Never. I hate him now.
Now that I've lost everything.
I would be digging in the yard, Madison.
Yeah.
Digging in Woodstock, New York. Like that. Then he's, became a fucking
Smoking
Muslim.
a J?
Yeah, all of it. I did it all. Now, he sued a entertainment news network in Europe for libel because they said that he would only speak to veiled women when he went to an. That's what they said. Apparently, he proved wrong. He said the article that said he would only speak to veiled women embarrassed him and caused him distress. And he's been given some kind of money, and he's going to give it to charity. Aren't you
Muslim
fucking
charity, I'm sure.
And you know what? You know what you ought to be embarrassed by, Cat Stevens? That you never called out the people that attacked the United States and said, he never really said that they were bad and in the wrong. He danced around it.
And
they won't let him in the United States.
As a Muslim, like a converted Muslim, he probably should have said something.
Hey, Sean, I think they kept his ass out of the United States, didn't they? They won't let his ass in.
No, and
He's on a watch list.
they won't let him take flying lessons either.
He tried to become a pilot? My God.
I think that might have been a joke.
Meanwhile, before we are under attack, in San Francisco, there was a mock terrorist defense security thing. They have guns everywhere at the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory in San Francisco, where all of our research is done. And so all of a sudden, they did a mock attack on this facility that if a terrorist ever got their hands on it, there are isotopes. What is the stuff, Sean, that you need to either make a nuclear bomb or a microwave oven? What is the thing that you need?
Plutonium, Jay.
Plutonium. They have the attack began, and none of the guns could move. They were all frozen in position. And so the fake terrorists overrun. Now, remember, they're just a bunch of guys with the CIA in pajamas and, ski masks. They overran the Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory, and they took control of it in less than a minute. They took control of it. Isn't that unbelievable? We're just not people that, we're just not ready for that kind of nonsense. The guns were he couldn't lift the gun wherever the turret was or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
In England, they put up all of these anti-terror cameras. They haven't caught one terrorist on the camera. But they did catch a guy, and his dog was shitting in a park. I'm not kidding you. He didn't pick up the shit. They gave him a ticket.
Good.
And so now they're saying that's not what these cameras are for. They caught a guy in London with his mother's disabled parking sticker.
Good.
That's who they're catching. They're not catching,
Well, as long as you catch somebody.
By the way, you're in the middle of the Muslim Report on the Jay Thomas Show. A 50-year-old woman in Saudi Arabia has asked for a divorce from her husband because he lifted her veil and looked at her face while she was asleep.
Jesus.
The unnamed wife, whose name we couldn't pronounce anyway, said that she had kept her face hidden for 30 years and that her husband apologized and promised never to peek again, but she can never forgive him. He married a woman and he'd never seen her face.
He's not allowed to see her face?
I guess she lifted her whatever that is, her gooba, whatever they call that thing.
Her poofy?
She lifted it up and her ass came out and he pounded on that and had a couple of kids.
But that doesn't make sense. A man's allowed to see his wife's face.
Apparently not. If you have a veil, you
cannot.
So how
should give a blowjob?
I don't think they do that. I don't think they do that. I think they just lift up
Maybe I should be a Muslim.
The burqa thing.
Yeah.
They just lift it. Oh, you know how they give it? You stick it through the mask.
Oh,
you just stick it through the mask. It's like this. I'll do it with a newspaper. I'll do it with a napkin. So I have the veil on like that, right?
Yeah.
So you just see my eyes, and then the penis thing goes. Don't come on my burqa. You know what's good about wearing a veil? You have listen, when you're screwing a veil, you're excited. You know what's good about it? You don't have to wipe it on the drapes. You can just wipe it right on your wife's veil. On the burqa. When they wear the white one, that's when they're going to have sex, so it doesn't stain. Anyway, if you try to become a citizen of France and you wear a veil, you're denied citizenship. Because what's happened is, and the woman that helped pass this is a Muslim who is the urban affairs minister, and she is a Muslim woman and says she's against veil wearing, right? And this is because when you got that, listen, my son has a friend at school, and she's got the veil, and the whole family's got the veils and all. And I look at him and I think, don't wear all that shit. What are you, nuts? It would be like me dressing up in a Nazi uniform. That's how bad it is. And that's what they said in France. When you wear the veil, you look like, the people are scared of you. They're afraid you got a bomb under your burqa or something like that. And it's not, that's all it is. They don't fucking get it. It's like if all of a sudden priests began blowing up buildings, we would feel the same way about what a priest wears. Wouldn't you, Madison? If they said, another priest blew up 20 people.
Probably.
And they would say, don't wear the cassock anymore. Yeah. That's what they call it. Yeah. And they would stop it. And they just don't get it. Absolutely. That was the Muslim report. Bring up the Muslim music, please.
That's nice, Kara.
That was the Muslim report. Thank you.
She loves playing the clapping. It sounds like Cecilia by Simon and Garfunkel.
Every time I go to belly dance night at a restaurant, the fat one comes up to me with the stomach shaking.
Really? Well, they all have a little cushion.
Yeah. You know what's great about belly dancing? Apparently you can do it no matter what size you are.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
I took a class. It's hard.
One night we went to a Moroccan restaurant, and we're eating in our little town there, and a woman comes up, and my son says, "Oh, that's my English teacher."
What?
It was weird. His English teacher was a belly dancer at this restaurant.
Weird.
That's odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're there eating, and then on Monday you're going to be back with Mrs. Bill Hust. On Saturday night, Mrs. Bill Hust is like Fatima, and then on Monday she's back being Miss Bill Hust, the English teacher.
Weird.
Yeah, and I think the kids were a little freaked out by it, but we'd already ordered the special, and it was too late to send it all back.
Oh yeah.
And you hate to take hummus home in a box.
Can't
you just don't want to. No.
Jay Thomas.
The Jay Thomas Show.
It's the afternoon show. Sirius XM 104. The Jay Thomas Show. Indy. Sirius XM 104.
So we had a guy on this week who has tattooed Tom Brady's helmet onto his head. It'll be there forever. The Patriot was on the Jay Thomas Show. Jay Thomas Show from New Orleans, Louisiana. I can't hear the music there, Carol. What happened? There you go. You got it? Thank you. Can you hear me? Everybody hear me? All right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm coming to you from the Mike Church Studios. Mike, is on Sirius Patriot, believe it or not. When I moved to California, I bought a boat, and I went out in the Pacific Ocean, and we would fish for hours and hours, and we'd maybe catch like a rock cod, or once a week we might catch a halibut. When we fish, and I sold a friggin' boat. When we fish in Louisiana, and Mike just came back in, and you can think we fill the boat up within a matter of an hour with 100, 200, 300 pounds of fish. The fact that people go fishing and they sit there and wait for something to happen is mind-boggling for those of us that fish in the Great Gulf Coast. And if you've never fished in Louisiana and parts of Alabama and Mississippi too, you're absolutely missing it. You'll never fish anywhere again. You know the thing where you wait for the cork to go down with your daddy, Madison, and it's.
Well, I never really fished, but okay, sure.
If you came here, it would be the most exciting, and we go 5 minutes in the dock and you load the boat up with fish.
Oh,
it's unbelievable.
I don't like killing animals.
You're not killing an animal; it's a fish.
Oh, okay.
Let's go to Victor Thompson, the Patriot. Victor, welcome to the Jay Thomas Show. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Now, you are the Patriot, and you can go to Victor's website, TATTMETOO.com, tatmetoo.com. Madison is here with us.
Hello.
Patriot.
Hi, Madison. How are you?
Good. How are you?
So you're using your body as a billboard to sell tattoo advertising, correct?
That's right. That's right. Trying to get a lot of publicity for the advertisements on my body, and it's working out all right.
Now, your head is the tattoo of a New England Patriots helmet. Is that correct?
Yes, it's in the middle of being Tom Brady, a replica of Tom Brady's helmet.
So for the rest of your life, Patriot, your head will look like the Tom Brady Patriots helmet, and this is an indelible tattoo. This is a permanent tattoo.
Yep, needles have been stuck in my head. I put it in. I put it on when I did the left side when they were 16-0. I did the right side for 17-0, and I did the NFL flag and number 12 and the flag for when they were the AFC champions.
It must have been very disappointing though that they didn't run the table.
That was all right. I just did a little drinking, got rid of that, and now I moved on. Now I'm into bigger and better things. I'm still going to finish the helmet the way I have planned. So,
now what happens if Tom Brady were to get like Brett Favre is going to probably get traded now? What would happen? Jason Taylor's been traded from Miami. Almost anything can happen. What happens if he would be number 12 at some point in the future for, let's say, the Rams, the St. Louis Rams?
Well, that's all right. I had him when he was good, because when we get rid of him, he'll be kind of done. So
he'll be done.
I'm going to get rid of him right now.
Now, your entire body is filled with tattoos?
Not yet, but they will be. It will be. I'm hoping to get a bunch of advertisements on my body.
What if somebody wants to pay you for a Giants logo?
Well, I stick by my motto. I'll do it.
Wow.
Okay, now.
What if somebody pays you to have, I eat cock?
Well, if you pay for it, maybe.
If you put Madison, all right. And how much can I buy a couple of spaces for here?
Starting at $200 an inch.
Wow.
An inch.
An inch.
Who pays for the tattoo?
I do.
Okay.
So for $200, when you say an inch, how many lines do I get? Do I get how much can I put in could I put my name in there in an inch? J. Thomas?
Whatever you want for a square inch.
I know, but can you get the name in there, or is it too small?
Well, then you can pay $400, Jay.
Right.
400 and make it bigger, right?
Right.
Right. All right, now, where would you put it if I paid $400? Where would you put my name?
Wherever you wanted it.
Is your ass available?
Yep.
I could put it on one of your cheeks?
Right in the middle if you want.
Right in the middle of your cheek. Sean, what about if I bought an inch on one cheek and an inch on the other cheek?
That works.
Jay on one cheek and Thomas on the other cheek.
Money.
All right.
I think Target could put their logo in a certain place.
Yeah. You know what? Sean, I think I should buy each cheek.
Yeah. No, what about cheek on the face?
Well, the face.
That's problem. Face is
that's
gone.
reserved. That's reserved for my wife.
Oh, your wife. Your face is clean. So you have the football helmet. You have a wife?
Well, yeah.
I can't get a husband, and Tattoo Man gets a wife.
Yeah, the Patriot, not Tattoo Man. Hold on a minute. We're going to go away and come back. I have to think about this for a moment. I want to find out where the placement should be. TATTMETOO, tatme2.com. He means it. You can buy an inch for $200. I'm trying to figure out product placement for myself right now. It is the Jay Thomas Show. Madison, I may be buying you a couple of spots.
Thank you.
This man has tattooed on his bald head. I'm looking at a picture of you right now. The Tom Brady.
Website?
Yes, sir. The Tom Brady helmet tattooed on your head. Go to tatmeTOO.com. And so when did you get this this bright idea? What do you, like you're at work and you say, I'm going to fill my entire body with tattoos?
I was just with a bunch of people, and I said, everybody's got shirts, hats, and memorabilia of stuff like that of the Patriots. I said, nobody has a Tom Brady helmet. I like to be...
Everybody has memorabilia, and nobody has a Tom Brady helmet tattooed, but you can throw a hat away, or you can sell memorabilia if you want to sometimes.
Yeah, but I like the Patriots, so they're my team. I won't never give up on them.
But you don't like the Patriots. You have a sick love of the Patriots. You almost need some sort of athletic team therapy, almost.
No, not really. I mean, if you believe in what you're standing for, then you support what you can, right?
Yeah, but these guys are multimillionaires, and they throw the ball around and stuff. I mean, it's, you think they're thinking about the Patriots as much as you are?
Well, they should be. If they play for us, if they play for my team, they better be.
Yeah, but they play for the next team, then they'll play for that team too. I mean, all of us are just kind of like, it's kind of like what we do for a living,
Well,
we got to play with the team that likes you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but if you get hanging around with me more and I get to like you and your show, I might do the same for your show.
All right.
Yeah, but
all
you
right,
got to
now.
put it somewhere that people can see.
Yeah, we talked when we were away that they asked only your wife would see my name on your.
I would put a portrait of you on my face.
Wow.
Just
portrait of Jay Thomas?
No.
Madison.
Yes, Madison.
Oh, okay.
Now, let me tell you something. You don't know who you're talking to.
I'm talking to the radio talk show.
Do you remember Eddie LeBeck from Cheers?
Yeah.
That's me.
So, am I supposed to let you be on my face? No,
but Eddie LeBeck is one of the most beloved characters in all of New England. Boston. I mean, right or wrong, I said Eddie LeBeck. You knew who I was, just like that. And so, remember that character on Cheers, the hockey player?
Yeah.
That's me.
So why ain't you back on Cheers?
Because the show's off the air.
Well, get it back up and running. You're the man.
Well, I can't get it back up and running. But now you would have a picture on your cheek of Eddie LeBeck. So you'd have the Patriots helmet, and people go, hey, who's that? That's that guy. That's and they would recognize me immediately.
But you'd have to come and sign it.
Sign your face?
Yep.
How much would that cost me?
Whatever, we can negotiate something.
So you would tattoo my face on your cheek?
I would, and then
All right,
you have to come and sign it, because my object with Tom Brady is to get him to come and support me with my helmet.
He's too busy banging Giselle.
And have him.
Yeah, he's so busy. You're a fan of Tom Brady's, and all he's thinking about is Giselle Bundchen's coups. That's all he thinks about.
That's okay.
But you know
I'll
what?
be hanging with him and her.
You think that one day, because of your helmet with the Tom Brady number on it, you're going to hang with Giselle and Tom.
And Madison.
Okay.
And Madison.
Yeah, I'm
and
down.
my face is going to be on your cheek. All right, Sean. Sean?
Yes?
We need to figure out what it would... you'll go to the tattoo parlor, and you can send them to the website, and my picture's there and everything else, and it would be like a little tiny, like a little postage stamp picture of me. I don't want to spend a lot of money.
Afford.
That's all I can afford. You can already
Maybe
hear
we
I'm
could
sorry.
trade him some T-shirts, Jay.
No, he doesn't want to.
No.
So why don't you give me a wholesale deal? We'll figure it out. And then, hell, I'll come to Boston and sign your face. And that doesn't bother me at all. Because I'm not screwing anybody of any consequence.
Go to my website, email my agent, and we'll work out a deal.
You have an agent that's selling space on your body for the tattoos. By the way, for everybody that's listening, he is not kidding. The Patriot will allow you to buy space on his body if you go to TOO.com. Now, what's left on your body? What are the major parts that are left on your body?
Well, I've got my little bit of my back, my chest, my legs, my arms, my face definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But my head is taken. That's about...
Your head is taken by the helmet. That's right. And you're charging $200 a square inch.
Starting at $200 a square inch.
Okay, now, from where you are right now, could you just... Your arm is covered with advertisements?
Not yet.
Okay. What do you have... what can you read? Can you read your chest or your leg? Where do you have ads? Who's bought time on your body?
I'm in the middle of doing that. I can't. I got to protect my clients, but I've got a couple big things working right now.
You have to protect your client base. So you might have like a Budweiser or something on your back before it's over.
I'm hoping to.
Samuel Adams.
I'll even put Miller Chill on there.
You would put who?
Miller Chill. You ever had that beer?
No. What is that?
It's a nasty beer, but I'd put it there.
You would put even shit beer on your thing. All right. Now, can we put you wouldn't want to put a curse word on your body, would you?
I'd even put Zima on there.
You would put Zima. Oh man, do they still make that crap?
No.
That is the worst tasting shit I ever put in my mouth. It was like somebody mixed Crystal Light with urine, and then they chilled it, and then you were supposed to drink it. It's worse than waterboarding. You know?
So you didn't drink a lot of that beer, did you?
No, God, no. That stuff sucked. All right, well, look, I tell you what, Sean will email him. We'll try and figure it out, but I'd like to continue talking about getting my face on your cheek, okay?
Well, you can do that, and then when I do that, you can send me out to see you in Madison, and me and Madison can hang around.
There's no sending us out and all of that stuff. I'll fly to Boston. I'll visit some friends. I'll stop by.
He's in New Hampshire.
Well, then you got to bring Madison with you then.
All right,
fine.
I'll
She's
come.
but
she's your hookup to me.
Madison.
This guy doesn't even know what I look like, and he's all over it.
He can tell what you look like. That's right. That's exactly right. You can tell by that voice. When they have a really good voice, they're ugly.
Yeah.
And when they have a voice like Madison, they're great looking.
Right.
That's right.
A whiny,
whiny
voice.
Thank you, Patriot. Thank you very much. Sean, set it up.
Bye, Patriot.
Catme2.com.
Bye.
That's right. And the wife is right there with him.
Wow. That was crazy.
Wonderful, huh? His wife, Barbara, standing by his decision. It's a little bit crazy, but it's something he wants to do. So who am I to tell him no? You see, Madison?
Yeah.
You hear stories about what it takes to be with somebody, and I don't think it's coming clear to you how weird it will be when you finally hook up. They're going to want to do shit that you can't believe.
Well, on the picture I have of him, he doesn't have a full helmet. He's a full helmet tattooed on his head?
He is going to have a full helmet.
Oh, he's going to.
I think he has half a helmet now.
Ay vey.
Let's go to Bud of Vancouver.
Hello, Jay. You were talking a few minutes ago about your Eddie LeBeck on Cheers.
Yes, I was Eddie LeBeck on Cheers. That's right.
Yes, sir. I just wonder if maybe you make a little contest and ask the people if they know what position you played on the hockey team.
Everybody knows what I played. It'd be too easy.
I don't think I know, and I watched every episode. Center?
No.
Center on the hockey team?
Is there not a center?
No. There's no
forward.
No.
Right, fullback.
No.
You were the goalie.
Yeah, everybody knows I was the goalie.
He was the goalie.
Yeah, I was the goalie. Everybody knows that. Yeah, I was a fabulous. Nothing got by me.
And you had another one.
And then after the hockey team, he played on the Ice Capades.
Yep.
I was with the Pittsburgh
Penguins. You got run over by a Zimbalist.
Sean, what do we have for Bud of Vancouver, who knows the minutia of my career? What do we have for Bud of... My God, the minutia. Unbelievable.
Congratulations, Bud of Vancouver.
Send him some
memorabilia.
Let me make this perfectly queer. Mondo Facts, the singing judge. It's a CD.
Let me make this perfectly queer is the name of the
Yes,
CD?
some of the song titles are Princess Tummy Tuck, My Boyfriend's Back in Iraq, Pufta the Magic Drag Queen, Screaming Bloody Murder in Alberta. Oh, you'll like that one, Bud.
That's a good one.
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah.
Bud, enjoy this, apparently some CD that Sean got at a slop club. All right, thank you very much. Wow.
Okay, thanks, Jay.
All right. Well, Bud was real excited, so we gave him the gift. The ass was a bad idea. I'm glad we've moved, up to the face. It's me, Jay Thomas.
Jay Thomas.
It's the Jay Thomas Show.
Afternoon. The Jay Thomas Show.
It's the show that the average listener would do if they could do their own radio show.
Sirius XM 104.
Here comes Mr. Happy, kiss his own Gene Simmons on the Jay Thomas Show. the first time I saw Kiss, a record company guy, I guess. I somehow want to say that they were with. Did they start with Buddha Records, Madison?
Oh, come on. I mean, I'm a fan, but you're asking me the wrong question.
You know, because I know that Bill O'Coin. Is Gene there? Gene Simmons?
Now he's on the line, and he's going to think I'm an idiot.
No, it's okay. Hey, Gene, it's Jay Thomas in Madison. How are you?
Hi, it's Gene Simmons.
James, it's Jay Thomas.
Hi, Gene
How are you?
Simmons.
Say that one at a time, because, you know, men can't multitask. What did you say?
I'm Jay Thomas, and then this is Madison.
Hi, Madison.
Hi, Gene.
Now, Gene's got a new
songy voice. Did you hear that?
I heard that.
I'm blushing.
Ladies of the Night, a historical and personal perspective on the oldest profession in the world. So you've written a book about whores, prostitution.
I think you're better than that. You don't mean to use words like that. Men have been demeaning and insulting women ever since we first crawled out of the ooze we both, were created in. You don't mean words like whore and prostitute and all that stuff. What you mean is women who throughout history, because they didn't have access to power, not in politics, not in commerce, not anywhere else, sometimes chose the only self-empowerment they could, which was their God-given genes and their beauty. And they decided to qualify it, quantify it, and monetize it. That's a long way of saying that the ladies of the night of the brothels of Rome, the geishas of Japan, the courtesans of Europe's Renaissance period were actually the richest women of the time. Because
I feel like a fool now.
Well, women often feel that about us, men, and they're right. Men are fools for not recognizing the charm, the beauty. We should be kissing the ground women walk on instead of, saying all those stupid things we do because we're idiots. Now, remember, we're the same life form that won't ask directions, can't take photos, and will never say how beautiful she is to her face. We are fools.
Well, now, when I'm with a prostitute, I tell her how beautiful she is. And
you don't mean that. You mean a lady of the night.
A lady of the night.
Yeah,
and I love her. Now, I love her. I love
very far.
No, but I love her, and I think she's fabulous. And then as soon as I come, I'm disgusted by her.
You're charming. I'm sure you're going to go far in life.
Well, but I mean, Gene, you're acting. Now, you're up on some high horse above me all of a sudden. You were never like that?
No, I'd like to think that my mommy raised a very good boy.
She did, and you're very, very good to your mother, as seen on the show. And you're a nice Jewish man. You're a mensch.
Is there such a thing? Who's better? Who else would be your closest friend? Who's your best supporter? Who loves you more than anybody else? It's your mom. And show me a guy that's prone to violence and doesn't treat women well, and I'll show you somebody who just didn't get what his mom was all about. Because remember, when you're unkind to women in any walks of life, you're being unkind to your mom. Don't you get it? It all goes
every time I beat up a woman, it's my mother I'm beating.
Well, yes, actually, psychologically, you just said something that's true.
Well, this is kind of depressing all of a sudden.
Gene is very serious, Jay. Perhaps I should have warned you.
I thought we were going to talk about stories about prostitutes or ladies of the night.
To talk potty talk. And you started to demean women. Ladies of the
prostitute, I thought prostitute was a good word. Prostitute.
No, it's actually not. I think what women do and what consenting adults do behind closed doors is nobody's business. And people in the peanut stand outside those doors can hurl epithets at them because they don't agree with their lifestyle, but it's really nobody's business. And in either case, this book is more of an art book, a historical overview with paintings and artifacts from times gone by, as well as interviews with modern ladies of the night. And what we have to say about it, if we agree with it or not, that has nothing to do with it. It will continue. It's always been here, and it's the oldest profession in the world. By the way, in Europe, they don't have a problem with it at all. When
I agree.
The head of France went to his grave, they televised his funeral, and right alongside his wife, his beloved wife all his life, were his mistresses.
So now you're with Shannon's been on the show too, and you've been on the show. And actually, I met you years and years ago with Bill Coyne in Charlotte, North Carolina, at the Bandbox.
Right.
When I was a disc jockey, and one time in Long Island, I was the fifth Kiss, and it almost caused a riot when they found that it wasn't the real Kiss who jumped out of this box. So, but what I remember about you is scores of women. And you were known for betting 1,000 or thousands of women, and many people would look upon that as being chauvinistic. Now, how do you answer your past? How does Gene Simmons?
Problem, not mine. I mean, you can lead life and make yourself happy, or you can try to run around and make everybody else happy. And I'm here to tell you that self-empowerment has to do with self-esteem and deciding for yourself what you want out of life. If you're lucky and you live in Western society, which is America, not the Middle East, and if you're lucky to live in America especially, then you're given a menu. And in that menu, you should be able to pick whatever you want. Whether anybody else gets it or not is their problem, not yours. I've been a happy boy every day.
I understand that. Gene Simmons is here, Ladies of the Night, a historical and personal perspective on the oldest profession in the world. But when you were with women, I mean, we're always taught that the man is with the woman, he has his way with her, and then the girl is kind of left having, screwed a rock star or whatever, and then the guy gets more out of it than the woman does.
Not necessarily. With rock stars and stuff, there's social status. For a woman, it's for the meaning. For the man, it's usually for the feeling.
Right.
There's a difference.
So you've given women the feeling that they've been with a great person.
Well, that comes afterwards, after you're with somebody. But you're talking about relationships. This is not a social book. This is more a historical overview of something that's existed. Again, in the past, and even today in a large part of the world, women do not have any access to power. Not political, not in commerce, not in society. They're second-class citizens. In some parts of the world, they barely get the time of day. Even in America, come on. Mm-hmm. You go to a ball game or you go to a sports game, nobody, you guys just don't want to hear what girls have to say about, they're just girls. You toss them aside. And so in the past, one of the few ways, might have been the only way, a woman had the ability to empower herself and make money and survive and not be tied to the kitchen sink and just be a tool to bear children is to become a lady of the night and to charge up front for what God has given her, naturally. By the way, as long as there have been women who have been willing to charge for it, there have been men who are willing to pay for it.
Well, now, so your book is a historical perspective about empowering women.
No, I'm saying that in the past it was one of their choices. Again, this is not an advocacy book. I'm not here to tell anybody how to lead their life. If I did a book on nudity in the arts, it doesn't mean I want you all to rip your clothes off. I might.
Well, do you think that
an art book on nudity? It's an art book on nudity, Rubens and so on.
Now, I always, like strip clubs and stuff like that, and the gorgeous woman is taking her clothes off, and people always say to me, and I'm not big on don't go to strip clubs, and you always meet the woman and you find out that her father screwed her, her uncle abused her, or whatever.
Well, you haven't done research, and your assessment is based on perhaps your experiences, so you don't know that. Whereas,
so I'm asking you, these prostitutes,
these who do that,
call it a prostitute.
Or these ladies of the night, right? These ladies of the night, don't they sometimes get to this by having a horrible life prior to being a lady of the night?
You go and do research in everyday life, and you watch TV, the housewives of America are popping pills and getting beat up by their husbands, and so what does that prove? That if you're a housewife, your husband's going to beat you up, come home a drunken fool, and do all this. Like, what does that prove? Except that in all walks of life, there are all sorts of people. And Ladies of the Night, more than an assessment, more than an opinion, more than an advocacy, is simply an art history book of the institution, the oldest one on the face before language, before culture, before currency. That very first cave girl stood up and says, "Listen, Ugg," probably his name, "go out there and rest your hairy butt, bring me back some of that mastodon meat, and I'll trade you some of mine for some of yours." before currency, before culture, even before language. That was the first time violence wasn't the end to the means.
So the vagina was the first
sexuality was the
currency.
first spark of civilization.
The vagina was the first currency.
Actually, it is, and continues to be in a large part of the world. Tell me if this is true. Two guys are talking.
Listen, I totally agree, and I also think that on some level, unfortunately, I don't think it's ever going to change. Now, maybe it will in thousands of years.
No.
But I don't know what...
Because men are visually stimulated, and that's life.
So it won't ever change.
Pardon me?
It won't ever change.
No.
All right.
And we don't have a problem with it. Two guys are talking, two girls are talking. A guy tells his friend, I've got a blind date for you, so his pal says, what does she look like? That sounds right. Two girls are talking. I've got a blind date for you. Really? What does he do?
What does he do?
No, I usually say, what does he look like?
Yeah, Madison, you know as well as I do. If he's gorgeous and he drives up in a garbage truck and takes you to have some beans and franks, that's not going to last long.
No.
Mr. Happiness, Gene Simmons has been with
Well, I want to can I lighten it up and ask a couple questions?
No, because you know what? Unfortunately, Gene, I think they had a bunch of people waiting to talk to you.
Oh, come on.
Sean, right? He's got people waiting. Do you have how much? 1 minute.
If somebody...
Gene, that was Art Sears. 1 minute. GeneSimmons.com, the new book, Ladies of the Night, a historical and personal perspective on the oldest profession in the world. Madison, what's your question?
Oh, I just wanted to say I didn't really know too much about you and your family life until Family Jewels, and I think you have a lovely family. I think your kids are beautiful. I'm madly in love with your son.
Well, you know what he just did is my cell phone was going off. My son quietly walked over
it's precious.
and pressed the right button so that it wouldn't continue ringing. So it went to voicemail right away.
Everybody, all my friends, we love Nick, we love Sophie. I think you have a really beautiful family, and I think you're a great dad. So.
See that?
No, really, just really nice family. And your kids...
But everything starts with being nice to women.
Yes, but your kids aren't assholes, because there's a lot of celebrity kids who are assholes, and they're pieces of shit.
Because they're allowed to be that.
Right, and your kids are well behaved, and they're kind.
Don't bark because they're not allowed to bark.
Right, but they do give you a hard time, Gene. I feel bad for you sometimes.
You know what? I'll tell you why this interview has to end, and I'll tell you why.
Why?
I don't feel the same way Gene does. He wrote the book, Ladies of the Night. I've said all the wrong things, and my kids are horrible. They're in therapy. They're on every fucking pill known to man. And so this has just depressed me, Gene, and I'm going to have to say goodbye.
Well, I will say that there is hope. You can always wind up in jail and become very popular there.
All right.
I mean that in a good way, though.
Gene Simmons, the new book, Ladies of the Night, a historical and personal perspective on the oldest profession in the world. And Family Jewels is coming back for what, the second or the third season?
Fourth.
Fourth season. Wow. Unbelievable. I can't believe I missed all those years. All right, Gene. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Last time I talked to him, he wasn't that nuts about women, Anyway, who knows where the wind blows, these nuts. On the Jay Thomas Show.
The Jay Thomas Show. Afternoon.
We can't afford to pay you because you're so talented.
Jay Thomas.
On Indy.
Sirius XM 104.
I don't think it gets any better. But the rotten neighbor stuff, and then is this the segment where the big giant guy with the little poofy dog calls?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Wait till you hear this if you haven't heard it. And he's got a little tiny dog, and he's a big huge man. And he lets it pee in front of a guy's house, and the guy's a rotten neighbor. It's the Jay Thomas Show. Gosh, I can't wait to hear this again. Too bad I'm asleep. When I do that, I don't care what's happening. You turn the microphone on, it means Uncle Jay's ready to talk. When I do it like that, don't turn it on yet, okay? It means Uncle Jay's going to cough. I just heard that little promo thing. It's always bad when I'm heading for one of my, humorous little lines, and then the listener has a line over mine and better than mine. It's always, something that upsets me and still will continue to. But you keep doing it because, you love to hurt me. Brant Walker of RottenNeighbor.com is here, where you can go there and read about other neighbors. Bill of New Jersey, the Jay Thomas Show. Yes, Bill, on line 2. Yes, Bill. Bill of New Jersey. Where you live? What town in New Jersey? Where's this neighbor?
I live in Cranford, New Jersey. Just like where Jay used to live in Montclair, one of those towns. It's really nice. Everybody takes care of their lawns.
Right.
It's a great place to live.
You say I used to live in Montclair, New Jersey?
No, Jay used to live in Montclair.
Jay who?
Jay Thomas.
That's right. I lived in Montclair, New Jersey. I'd rather you not give my address out if you don't mind. All right?
You what?
I say I'd rather you not give my address out from Montclair, New Jersey, if you don't mind.
Oh, no, I wouldn't give your address out.
Because I remember seeing you around the neighborhood. Now, Bill, by the way, Brant Walker, are you still there?
Yeah.
All right, good. Go ahead, Bill. What does your neighbor do?
Well, I live over there, and I walk this little dog. It's about 8-10 pounds. A little Maltese. You walk down the street over there.
Now, you're a big guy. You have a little teeny dog.
Let's put it this way, man. I ran with a club with motorcycles. Doesn't make me a fag. You know
I didn't say anything about your sexuality, but it is unusual when you walk these little teeny dogs and you're this big giant man.
Well, Jay, I like little dogs, man. They're easy to handle. You take them out there, they poop, and that's it.
Do you ever let the dog poop in the neighbor's yard and the neighbor complains about you?
No, man. I carry a little bag. I try to not do that, you know what I mean, on his lawn. But in between the sidewalk and the curb is county property, So if the dog pees there or something, one day the dog takes a little pee over there, guy comes running out, I'm going to kick the dog. I said, hey, hang on a minute, man. It's only a dog. It only peed. My dog. We get into a confrontation almost. And I mean, he fights with the neighbors on both sides of him. He fought with my son one day about the dog. He walked on the sidewalk. He's got a big husky, and he's a cop. And, he just takes a walk up there.
Yeah, Rodney.
Has the dog ever bitten anyone?
No, never.
Never?
Now,
Not
wait,
even once?
the bad neighbor has a husky. And you have a little like a Shih Tzu,
little
poofy thing, Bill.
Yeah, little Paris Hilton thing.
I got a little foo-foo dog.
Okay.
Well, Bill, we wanted you to admit that before. We needed you to cleanse yourself. We needed you to cleanse yourself. So now he lives up the street from you. How many houses away?
He probably lives about 4 houses away.
Mm-hmm. And so now you made his gutter in front of his house smell like poofy dog pee.
Jay, I mean, this guy's just, I think to me personally, I think he's a fag, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I couldn't care what his sexuality is.
Right.
But this guy is just he's a neighbor from hell. I'm not kidding with you.
Let me go to Brant Walker.
I've started RottenFags.com.
Yeah.
It's another.
Let's go to Brant Walker. Brant, this didn't take long for this to get out of hand, Brant. At rottenneighbor.com, suppose Bill of New Jersey were to go on there and say, I think the neighbor down the street from me, and he's using the fag, as just an insult, not that the man's sexual preferences of that. Oh, do you allow curse words on rottenneighbor.com, Brant?
No, we filter out any type of curse word.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Now, what would you like to say about it? Would you go to rottenneighbor.com, Bill, and report this guy and put his picture and everything on the website?
I'll tell you the truth. I never knew there was a site, but I think I would. Absolutely.
That's what the Jay Thomas
Could
show
you
is all
post
about.
a picture of your dog, too, along with the fag neighbor?
I would love you to send a picture of you and your dog, and you picking up the dog turds with the little plastic hand thing, and
actually throwing them at the
send it to jthomas.com, would you, Bill, please?
Hey, Jay. I don't know about that, okay?
Why not, Bill? Why not? You love your dog. We'd love to see the love that you have for the dog.
Hey, listen, I tell you what, I love that dog so much that if this guy went to kick the dog, he wouldn't have anything to worry about later on, you know what I mean? I'd probably put him in a hospital.
You would put the man in the hospital. What about if that husky went after your dog and thought it was like a hairy hot dog?
I got a husky. My son's got one. He's got like a 90-pound husky.
Well, that's a turd as big as
a man's dog.
That's a turd. That's a turd as big as your forearm.
That's a manly dog.
Did you lay a big husky turd on the neighbor's lawn?
Well, let me tell you something, Jay.
What?
Having a little dog like that, it's like having a little chick magnet. You take that dog over to the city, and you walk that little dog, let me tell you something.
Women
it's
everywhere.
a chick magnet.
All right.
Everything's a scam to get laid.
It sure is. It sure is. All right. You ever try a baby in a carriage? That's another chick magnet, But you always have to say your wife is dead. That's always the rough part. Okay, Bill?
I'm not going to lie.
Okay. All right, Bill. Thank you very much.
Hey, Jay, thanks, guys. Have a good day.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you, Bill.
Now, Brant, let me go to rottenneighbor.com. Brant, what do you do for a living when you're not running the website? What do you do?
I do internet marketing, develop other websites, entrepreneur.
Now you zoom in on the homes of the accused, represented by structures colored red for the rotten and green for the good, and they resemble what, like Monopoly board pieces?
Yes.
Wow, you've thought this is great. Here's one. Fat man is naked from Minlow Drive in Indianapolis. The guy walks out to his mailbox every day with just his underwear on to get the mail. Also, in the middle of the day, he opens the front door and stands there naked. Really gross as his big fat belly hangs over his dong. My God.
So I thought you were supposed to edit out that kind of language.
Now wait a minute.
What happened there?
And you put the guy's address and everything.
Yeah.
You know what?
Is there a picture of his dong on there?
He could be arrested, Brant. That's indecent exposure.
I agree.
Even in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Where almost anything goes. Here's one, and he has loud, rough sex. Now, is that a big one when the people screw really loudly and you can hear them next door?
There are quite a number of those complaints, yes.
One of them is from Long Beach. I don't mean to rag or nothing, but the two young guys here are rocking the whole hood. This is really from RottenNeighbor.com, with hard driving sex that starts at 10 p.m. on the dot. It goes on night after night, Rodney, with loud, aggressive male humping and cussing.
That sounds so much like, remember I lived in Toluca Lake, Jay?
With the hooker upstairs.
Oh, my God. But I never complained. Boy, you'd hear her up there.
These are two men. The poor white kid living there is only 5 feet high, not tall, high, and the black dude is 6'6". So I kind of feel bad for the white guy, but he's been going at it for 4 months, and it's driving us nuts. We moved here from Canada. We were told by our employers it was a good neighborhood, and I'm telling you, it ain't. Now, so he's turned two gay guys in, having said, this is pretty heavy stuff, isn't it, Brant?
Yeah, I agree. It is pretty heavy.
I mean, do the cops ever come to these people's homes?
We've talked to law enforcement about a couple of postings, but yeah, it's all out there for everyone to see. So,
All right, and then Penis Head and Miss Piggy. Likes to get drunk and starts fights and grabs women. His daddy-in-law pays their bills and has a set of rules that he thinks all the neighbors should abide by. Call the cops, the city, and the neighbor's employment to get revenge. Mainly, his wife sits on her fat ass and she takes no action and wears the pants in the family. So what happens is they actually get into the personalities of these neighbors, too.
Yes.
You know what? I'm surprised you haven't had somebody killed. I mean, like if I was a neighbor and you wrote this about me and put my, my name and all there and a picture of my house and all, I'd walk next door and, punch you in the nose.
Well, we feel that we're also, preventing situations like that from happening in the first place.
Really?
Instead of confronting neighbors at their home, they can, go on the internet and do it and remain anonymous if they wish. So.
All right. Okay. You enjoying this interview, Brant?
Yeah. Fun stuff.
All right. Brant Walker from RottenNeighbor.com. Millions of hits. Go on there. They'll do a Google map of the neighbor's house, the yapping dog thing. You know what? You can put some sedatives in some meat or peanut butter and throw it over there to the dog, too. Do you recommend things sometimes to stop the neighbor from doing what he's doing?
No, we don't recommend anything or intervene in any of the situations. It's all user contributed.
You have any ads on your website, RottenNeighbor.com?
Yes, we do. We do have advertising.
What do you sell? Like, what would putting your Rotten Neighbor up there? What advertisers? Sominex, take your earplugs, tasers.
There's this one particular product that stops dogs from barking. I guess it's kind of it emits.
Is it called
Bark Away? Is it Bark Away?
Is it called Gun? Is it called Bullet and Gun?
It's made by Smith & Wesson.
Yeah.
It's called Bark Away.
Is it called Bark Away, really?
No, I forget the actual name of it, but it's something similar to that.
Dead Doggy Inc.
Yeah. And what else besides the?
How about Allied Van Lines? That'd be a natural.
That's a good one.
And there's lots of foreclosure ads. We see it. We actually see a direct correlation to the foreclosures and rotten neighbors. So
you think that the economy, the housing crunch, is because of rotten neighbors?
You think speculators could maybe use
and
your
that's
site
right,
to
and
steer
not,
clear.
and it isn't the subprime thing; it's the rotten neighbors. I love this. That's a good.
It's all related.
Now, what about stalkers? Do you not think you're helping a stalker find someone's home?
Hopefully it's not being used for that.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully.
Yes.
Right.
Hopefully.
Now, do you ever post anything about hot chicks that can be seen naked through a window?
Yeah.
It may not be rotten.
With Google Earth?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I've seen a number of those posts come through. Yes.
And what do you do? What do
so
you do?
You could
with
use
those?
it as a dating service almost.
You filter it out?
No, I mean we let those go. You know, the community moderates itself, much like Craigslist. So if the community sees something they don't like, they can flag the post and it'll come down.
Well, what would they like about knowing an address of a woman who's flapping her tits in the window?
Complain about that.
I mean,
I've got no complaints about that.
People are rushing for that. That apartment.
Well, Brant, are you making money on the site? That's all I care about.
Yeah, definitely through advertising, and the service itself is free, but through the ads, yes, we are making money.
There you go.
Where'd you get your loan? From rottenneighbor.com. That's where I got my loan. Hey, thank you very much, Brant Walker. Great service. He's almost a hero among us. Do we have? Well, what do we play? Wind beneath my wings. I didn't know this, Brant, but you're getting a hero award from Jay Thomas. So you can put that on your website.
Thank you.
You have been given, and I've only given. Very few, 219. I've only given 219 of these out, and they, as you can tell, and we started 220 days ago. So 219, year number 219. You can say you were the hero among us. Bring that music up. Brant Walker of rottenneighbor.com. Thank you, Brant, very much.
Thank you.
A wonderful person. Why did I pick this song? Do we have a hero song? No. Is there a song that has hero in it? Something like that? Even if it's about a sandwich, it'd be better than this. All right. Hero among us. There you go. Thank you very much. When I was kind of roommating with Roddy Lee Conover in Toluca Lake, I would stay in the house with the big giant iguana, and he would go about his sexual singles life. And up above, there would be quite a bit of traffic going in and out of this little apartment. And he would come home, and I'd say, Rodney, man, I could barely sleep here on the couch. There was a banging and talking and the whole thing. This gal was a full-fledged hooker. She was working. Did she work night and day?
She was high end, though. I mean, she was like the guys that would come over had nice cars and they're always dressed nicely, and she was really hot and she was really good looking and had a nice body, and boy, it was like a parade.
Boy, Carrie, you love this drop, don't you? Oh God! Did you ever hear this kind of talk, Rodney?
No, that's kind of phony. I would hear the real thing.
Yeah. Oh, you mean even though she was a hooker, she enjoyed it?
No, she was. I don't know, but she was really good. I know that
she was good at it.
Oh yeah, and you could tell. You know what was really fun about that? And me and my girlfriend would sit there late at night when it would start and listen to them, and we would try and guess what position they were in.
You mean
based on the sound?
Missionary or doggy style,
or doggy standing on the ground, leaning over the bed, in the shower. We would sit there and take bets on what position, and then they'd switch positions, and you could tell the slapping and the. You know what I mean? In certain positions, your body slaps against the other body. Slap, slap, slap. And the swinging balls. And
did you enjoy? This enhance your sexual pleasure?
Well, this was always after we were done. We would sit and listen to the neighbors.
Well, it's the
now
truth.
Listen. Hold on, let me say one more thing.
Sure.
Because I know you used to listen to me and my girlfriend too, because you give me shit about it all the time.
She would yell.
She was kind of loud.
Chinese things.
But I swear to God, we were at a bar once, and I never had a conversation with a hooker, despite the fact I lived below her for 10 years. But I saw her in a bar once, and she walked up, and of course, we recognized each other, and she goes, I know a lot about you. And I said, not as much as I know about you. And we had a good laugh about it.
Now, she didn't say anything other than that, though, right?
No. But we both knew what we were talking about.
Did you ever ask her out?
Well, no, I had a girlfriend, as you know.
Oh, that's right. It's too close, right?
And she's a hooker.
I got you. Well, could have been, say just have a cup of coffee or something like that,
Yeah, that'd be fun. Can I go have a cup of coffee with you?
I fell in love with a girl in the corner of when I first moved to New York, and I said, "Where did you work around here?" She goes, "Yeah, right in the corner." And I took her to dinner 3 or 4 times and everything else, and then some guy said, "Why are you dating that hooker?" I said, "Oh, God, I thought she worked in the building, for God's sake."
I only have one thing to say after that.
Genius? Oh, you're regurgitating.
Jay Thomas.
The Jay Thomas Show.
It's the afternoon show.
It could be funny, too.
That was a good one. Say it twice. It'll be funnier.
The Jay Thomas Show.
Indy. Sirius XM 104.
The great thing about Sirius Satellite is the eclectic nature of what we do. And we brought in Lino, the Catholic guy, on our show to find out what was going on there and what was funny on the Catholic Channel, on the Jay Thomas Show. The other day I was reading the New York Times, and I'll tell you why I read the New York Times. I read the New York Times waiting, or any newspaper, to see my name in it, or a story about me, or a guy says, "I happen to find Jay Thomas. We're wondering where he's been," and we turned on Sirius Satellite. What a brilliant addition, and all the things he said and all of that. And instead, is a two-page story about the man that's standing next to me from the Catholic Channel. Lino, welcome.
Thanks a lot, Jay. It's good to be back.
How are you? Yeah,
I'm doing good.
Rodney, this is Lino. What's your last name?
Ruley.
Lino Ruley. What a great article they wrote about you.
It was very nice. But let me tell you something, Jay.
Yeah.
The very first person to ever have me on their show on Sirius Satellite Radio
was me.
Was you,
but not in person.
Not in person. You were not here. I was not in person.
Because we kind of look alike a little bit.
You're a better-looking version than me. A more successful, better-looking version than me.
Thank you. I look like an animal, but you look more like an animal. You look like a meerkat. You look a little meerkatish to me. And Rodney, what sort of animal do you think I look like when you look at me? What animal do you think?
You look a little bit like one of those Egyptian. What are those hounds from Egypt? Kind of the lanky, the face.
But I'm not lanky. I'm
no, just the face.
I have a long face.
A long Egyptian dog.
Whoopi Goldberg says every time she sees me, you have the largest head in television. That's
you're like a human Pez machine.
Something like that.
How big's your head? You ever measured it?
I do have a large head because when I played football, I had to have a really big helmet, and helmets were always tight.
Yeah.
Or when I buy a cowboy hat, which I wear quite often. By the way, Kara is running the show. Garrett Andritz. Many times you go, what do you think the beginning of the end of the world will look like? How would you know it was perhaps the end of civilization as we know it? Garrett Andritz has been chosen for a jury in New York Superior Court.
Isn't that the third seal?
What is that? What is the third seal? What is that?
Third seal is Garrett Andritz gets on a jury pool.
Is that like something from the Bible?
7 seals.
All right. So, Lino, how is it that, and I think that the Catholic Channel, by the way, and I'm not just saying this because you're here, it's just, you have a lot of broadcasters there. A lot of people that sound like broadcasters. Is it Father Dave?
Father Dave Dwyer.
Has been on there. And then there's another guy, it's not you, that there's a comic or something like that?
Yes.
All right. And now, where did you come from?
I came from the great state of Minnesota, where all moderately successful comedians come from.
And were you a stand-up comic?
No. Because I wasn't funny enough.
Did you try to be a stand-up?
Yes.
Don't you just have to stay up there long enough and someone thinks you're funny?
I'm way too insecure for that.
What are you telling jokes about Satan? I mean, how'd that work?
So did you talk about your religious?
It's not easy being a Satanist. There's a lot of sacrifice.
Religious. I just last night I called Rodney and I was telling him all these things, these kind of bad things that had happened to me, and I said, and then this wonderful thing happened, And I said, I think that's God. And what did you say, Rodney? What did you say?
I said, Satan is the great deceiver.
Satan is the great deceiver. So,
when in fact,
wonderful
you think
things.
It's God,
wonderful things happen to me sometimes, but they're evil things to others.
Believe me, I understand. I saw my ex-girlfriend last weekend. I understand you 100%.
What do you mean you saw her?
I saw an ex-girlfriend of mine last weekend.
You went to a strip club? Now that's not right.
Yeah. Yeah.
and something good happened to me, which ended up being evil in the long run.
Now, wait a second. Are you really that much of a Catholic? And before, Rodney, I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm raised Catholic, Jesuit educated, the whole thing. And I wanted to be a Monsignor. I didn't want to start as a priest. The other reason I would have been a priest.
Right to the
I wanted to have a stripe.
Entry level.
I wanted to have a stripe. And they were saying,
title.
You got to go in, and if you're a Jesuit, they have no titles. You're just a priest, or you're the black general. That's the head guy, right? So, the thing is that you can't have an impure thought. And I lived in New Orleans, and if you get a rise in your shorts, that's what you're talking about. Or if you passionately want someone, you will burn in hell.
Well, I wouldn't go, no, come on, an impure thought? Impure thoughts are fine.
They are not.
Well, not fine eternally, but I mean, you can be forgiven for impure thoughts. Impure thoughts.
Well, you can be forgiven for everything.
You're darn right you can.
Sure, you go to confession. Bless me, Father. What is that?
We're not perfect, we're forgiven.
No, stop that. You've got to take that out. This is Lino from the Catholic Channel. So you saw your girlfriend. Now you hadn't had premarital sex with her.
Wow, I didn't know
I could have drove a truck.
Well, no, that wasn't a pause. You know what? He said something so filthy we had to dump it.
Is that right?
Maybe she was.
That was a delay. You know what? We've never used a delay before until Lino from the Catholic Channel comes over here, and the next thing you know, it's spewing from his mouth.
Kara knew what she was up against there.
Well, you know what, Jay? I suppose it depends.
Did you hear that? The front office, they had to hit the button.
One of the satellites just went this.
My God.
Well, no, you asked me a question. Have I ever had premarital sex with her? I guess you should ask her. Maybe she felt like we hadn't.
I see.
That's why I paused. I'm like, well, I don't know.
It's got to be hard, though, being a Catholic, because the world has moved, and I don't see any American priests anymore. I don't see.
Oh, we got some.
Not many left, though. And by the way, I was raised by great priests. No nun ever beat me or scared me or any of that stuff. And I never told. Sean, you've known me a long time. I've never said one thing about a nun, and that's so cliche.
No, you're very respectful.
No, but you know what? The nuns I had were nice. We had nice nuns. There were some rough priests. The Jesuits have some guys all the way to the left, all the way to the right. They've had everything.
Sure.
And so you as a Catholic, you have to maintain a lifestyle that a lot of people just don't understand, I bet.
I don't know if I understand it, but I still try to live it or not. I live it out, believe it or not. I try to live it out even if I fail sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I definitely fail sometimes. So I don't. The thing that gets me most nervous. You had me on your show like 2 years ago, Jay. Mm-hmm. And the one thing you said, Lino, if you could actually go through living in New York City an entire year without having sex, you said something like, they should make you Pope. They should just send you right to the front of the line.
With a man or a woman. Or any sort of an animal.
Does that include alone, being alone?
Being alone?
Oh, I don't think he was mentioning that, were you?
Well,
no, Rodney. Of course, Rodney goes right to the.
No, I'm just saying. Define having.
Well, you're right about that. That's a sin too.
Oh, of course it is.
Good.
Spilling your seed.
But let me tell you what my doctor told me. If a man doesn't masturbate, it can back you and give you prostatitis and all that.
Prostatitis.
You know that more Catholics have prostatitis than any other religion in the world. Did you know that?
I've had prostatitis.
Well, you got to do something medicinal, my friend.
Well, I took medicine for a couple of years.
Well, but.
More squirting, less hurting.
That's exactly right. Hey, by the way, call us at 888-4-102-102, The Jay Thomas Show. You call your show The Lino Show?
The Catholic Guy.
The Catholic Guy. You're on at 4 o'clock today, Eastern.
4 Eastern, 7 Eastern, you bet.
And 140 something or other?
159.
I'm sorry, 159 is the Catholic channel. You can tell I listen every afternoon. Well, I'm busy.
Such a big fan. Well, you're on the air, Jay.
Oh, yeah,
you have an excuse.
I couldn't do it. So now, because Barack, what about the politicians who, when they backed Barack Obama, they wouldn't let him take the sacrament? You've heard of that, right?
Of course I have.
Now, do you agree with that?
I stay away from all politics, and I'm going to be honest why.
Why?
I'm not smart.
No, you don't have to be smart. You're an American. You're a patriot.
But that's part of the problem. Because I'm not smart and I'm American, I should keep my politics to myself.
No. Rodney.
I don't know enough.
Rodney.
I'm being honest.
Now, Rodney hates when they say vote. Don't you hate it when
I do. I hate it.
Listen
and
to
I hate
his
it when
theory.
when they make any attempt to make it easier to vote also pisses me off.
That's right.
Because that makes it easier for politicians to talk down to dumber people.
That's
who normally wouldn't vote if it was difficult.
Yeah.
So naturally, the message gets dumber and dumber.
Can you run the applause again? The man, this is 2 in a row. My God, it's just.
Well, I agree with that, but
he's almost a moderate today, Sean. I never heard anything like. So
and you know what? If the dumb people vote, then they cancel out my smart vote.
That's
I
right.
don't like that.
That's right. Now you're not dumb. You're in the media. You read the newspaper. That's all you have to do. You're an American. Do you vote against the guy that you like because you find out that he's pro-choice?
I think it's when it comes to real matters of pro-choice, pro-life. I mean, I don't know if Obama and McCain. I guess McCain's a little more pro-life than Obama is.
He used to not be pro-life.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So he's not going to be the great champion of pro-life.
He's pro-life until his daughter gets pregnant. To be honest. And no, I'm not joking.
No, that's fine. And so that's right. From my point of view, I say, well, all right, let's be honest about this. I'm not a one-vote issue, but there are, as Catholics, what's more important than life? You don't have to be a Catholic to say that's an important issue. That's just flat out important. Whether it should be legal or not, I'm not lying, Jay. I'm not smart enough to know if it should be legal, but I'm certainly going to be able to decide if it's moral or not.
Right.
And so if I see one wildly pro-choice and one wildly pro-life, and I really like the pro-life guy, and or woman, and they've got a lot of other things going on, then absolutely. A year like this, it's a lot more. I'm a very confused guy in the sense that I voted for Bill Clinton twice. Didn't like his politics. As far as the pro-choice stuff goes. I voted for George Bush twice.
Now, 75% of births end in a miscarriage worldwide. 75%. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
75% of pregnancies.
Pregnancies, not births. Pregnancies.
That would be wild.
End in miscarriage, right? That makes God the universe's greatest abortionist.
Wow. That's a bold statement.
Thank you.
Wow.
So it's up to him to decide.
Remember we were talking about Satan earlier?
Wow.
No.
He just got out.
But so what's amazing is that he makes the choice because something is wrong in the situation and it's not working out. So he makes the choice. But there are
I don't think God makes the choice to make you miscarriage.
What's that?
I don't think God makes a choice to have you miscarriage. I think that's a load of shit.
Who do you think makes it?
It is a physical reaction by the body's biology to something going wrong.
Who do you think's running the computer up there, my friend?
I don't think God is making a choice.
Capital G-O-D.
But Jay, does God then give you a heart attack? So God kills somebody. God killed Tim Russett of a heart attack. He killed him.
Well, you know why? You want to hear the truth?
Because of his politics.
He made a bet. He made a bet with Allah, and Allah said, "Okay, whoever brings the most popular, that's right. Who you gonna give me?" And they do bets. They do everything up there.
God made the bet with Allah.
Yes, Allah.
I did not know this.
Yes, he did.
Well, that's fascinating.
Allah's a whole different guy.
You know what? Put one down for Allah.
Allah's a whole different guy.
Wow.
I think that when I was a kid, and we all read this, we're made in God's image.
Sure.
I would think, well, I must be just like him. So when I do things, when I bet, when I act crazy, God probably does the same thing.
Of course. You understand it. You're a biblical scholar. You're an exegete when it comes to the scriptures, Jay.
Applause, please. A little applause, please.
Thank you.
There you go. Thanks a lot.
Hey, whenever Jay badmouths religion, I have to remind him that he was raised by Jesuits. And the Jesuits are probably pretty proud of the way he turned out.
They are. And you know what? I would not be who I am today if it wasn't for the Jesuits.
And they certainly must have instilled in you some sort of ability to reason and even criticize them and their religion. So they raised you to question people as well, Jay.
They would say that they would allow us to really go after them, and we were the lowest rung of students at a very big high school in New Orleans. The classes, A, of course, is the best. Right?
Well, why wouldn't it be, of course?
Okay. B was A was honors, B was scientific. Okay?
Yep.
C was advanced honors.
How many letters are there in the alphabet?
Well, keep listening.
Okay.
D was advanced scientific, a little bit lower, but they call it advanced. Then there was D-E. I swear to God.
This was an E.
There was an E, and E was considered general academics. I entered F, and we stayed in F.
Was that the 4-letter?
No, wait a second.
Is that what you were?
So I was in 1F, 2F, 3F.
No.
You know what I graduated in? 4G. I was in 4G when I graduated. They moved us down, but we were We were smarter than the public school kids.
Did you have H or was G the lowest? Was
G was the lowest.
That's
It
as
went
far
from
as you could go.
A to G. Well, they would, they only had 1,000 students or 1,200 or whatever. How many could you go? And we learned everything we could. So all of my friends at A and B and C were going to Yale and to Georgetown and everything else. So I thought I could too.
Of course.
So I took my 1,100 score in the SATs, which I didn't know they were all had 2,500s, and I was accepted to Georgetown's dorm, but not the school.
No, you were not.
That's the truth. They gave me a room number and everything.
That was because they wanted you on the intramural team.
That's right. And I went to Gulf Coast Junior College, a hotbed of, and then Jacksonville University.
Did you get any G's there?
No, but you know what? I really was the smartest guy in community college after that, too.
There's something to be proud of.
And the Jesuits did say, though, they really did. We would argue, and we were allowed to argue, and the priest would say, look, it's about faith. And that's the end of that. You can disprove it all. There's no proof that anybody did anything. Do you ever think spacemen came down and that's why the angels had the halos?
No.
Never hear that one?
Did you really believe that, Jay?
I think it could be true.
You believe the spacemen came down?
I believe spacemen came down.
And those were the halos.
How'd they build the pyramids? How'd they lift those big rocks up? Somebody had to help them.
I saw that on Discovery.
I sure did.
Yeah, it's like a 2-hour. I don't know if I have enough time. I'll try to explain all 2 hours of the Discovery show here on your show, Jay. But there are camps they've discovered of where the workers used to work right outside the city of Giza.
But how'd they lift the big rocks up in the air?
He's a really strong guy.
No, very strong.
No.
Very. Have you been to Egypt?
Incredibly strong.
No, I would never go. I don't go overseas.
Well, I've been to Egypt.
No, don't do that.
Egypt is a horrible place.
Horrible
It is a great place.
No,
it is not.
By the way, Lino, the Catholic guy, is with us. He'll be on the Catholic Channel 159 in 42 minutes.
Wonderful.
42 minutes, and he's here on the Jay Thomas Show. The reason why you're here is I was talking to the vice president of programming today, and he said, I said, boy, I love that Catholic channel. That guy Lino had the big article and everything else. And he said, hey, Lino asked me, about your show sometime and stuff. And I said, you know what? If that kid needs some pointers, you can call me anytime.
No, that's honest to God. I went out with the guy a couple days ago.
Wait a second. Ronnie, what was that? Were you sneezing?
No.
I heard it like a sneer or something, like a snort.
No, I think when he said, I went out with a guy, I think Satan came out again.
So,
not the
better finish that.
Yeah, so you went out with the same guy? You went out with the same guy I went out with, the big vice president?
This vice president guy of which you just mentioned.
Can't say their names.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Well, actually, I don't even know their names.
Well,
so I went out.
when you're sitting with them, what do you say?
Sir?
You know what's really great? When they don't know your name.
That's right. They look across and they go,
Yeah.
Jay Lino, they call you, Jay Lino.
And I was saying, well, I want tips for my radio show. And he said, well, what show do you like? And if you saw the New York Times article, I said...
You didn't mention my name.
How do you know? You know how the big liberal media machine works,
Liar.
Jay.
You did not. You mentioned Howard Stern.
I mentioned Howard Stern.
Thanks.
And I mentioned David Letterman.
Satan.
Yeah, thanks.
And how do you know I didn't mention you?
You didn't.
You were not there.
You mean to tell me they edited that?
These liberal media types, they edit every word.
All right. You know what? I'm now a right-wing now. I'm completely right-wing.
And so I said I've got 3 role models in the media: David Letterman, Howard Stern, and the great Jay Thomas.
Oh, you said that?
And they cut it out.
I'm going to call.
You want a transcript?
No, I'm going to sue them. I'm going to call the New York Times. Who interviewed you? What was his name?
Well, I don't know if I can't say the vice
Bill
president's
Carter?
name.
Was it Bill Carter?
It was not. I don't get anybody that important.
All right. No, it was a great article. Exciting.
And I did say...
Is your mother still alive?
Yes, she is.
She must have gone crazy.
Oh, and my mom and my dad.
Oh, my God.
Everybody's so excited. But I got to tell you...
How about the ex-girlfriend, now that you're in the New York Times?
I'm not going to lie to you. That was a big deal. She's back.
Really?
Yeah, no, I'm not going to lie. She's back. And she's a 9, too. This girl's beautiful.
Well, she doesn't have to be.
No, well... No,
Is that
don't
9,
say that in front of Kara.
She's a 9G?
Don't make Kara feel
Well,
bad.
no, I can't get 9s outside of the New York Times is what I'm saying.
Kara's absolutely gorgeous, by the way. My God. I wish Garrett would die. What was that just now, Rodney, that came out of me? I wished a man dead. Satan came out of me again. I hope that, you know what I hope is that he's the foreman of the jury. And
it's a big M.
He tries to save the guy to get him manslaughter, but he's voted down and it's murder. But he has to stand up and say he's sentenced to death, and the murderer leaves the box and stabs Garrett to death. All right, that's right. Your Honor, we find the defendant guilty. I'll kill you. So the girlfriend came back. Where'd she go?
She disappeared. I guess she got a different guy in her life. But
You know who it was?
Who?
A Lutheran.
That's true, actually.
She went Get out of here.
It was a Lutheran guy.
You're kidding.
No, it was a Lutheran guy.
It's always a Lutheran guy.
Well, wait a second. I didn't even think the Lutherans had a church anymore.
They're sneaky, those Lutherans.
Yeah, but this is back in Minnesota.
Oh, that's right. There's nothing but Lutherans and Norwegians.
Tell me
and
about
Muslims.
And Muslims.
Right.
Ellison is from there, isn't he?
Yeah.
The guy.
Absolutely.
And you know who else? Who's the guy?
Singer?
No, the comedian.
Al Franken.
He's a damn Lebanese. He's Lebanese.
Who?
Al Franken.
Al Franken's Lebanese?
He's Lebanese, a Muslim.
I'm pretty sure he's not Muslim.
He's a Muslim Lebanese. He's an Islamo-terrorist.
You're sure? Al
Positive. And Jesse Ventura was with us the other day. Hey, by the way, you should get Jesse on your show. It's a fabulous interview.
I've talked to him before. I used to be a TV reporter back in Minnesota.
He doesn't believe 9/11 happened.
I know. That's fantastic, right?
And he's got another book out, New York Times bestseller. And since you're from there, we had a fabulous time with him. You know.
The thing is, because I'm on the Catholic channel, he always wants to go toe-to-toe about religion. Which is fine, but I like having fun on the radio.
Then you should say it to him. You set some ground rules. We do that all the time.
Do you?
Oh,
no,
what are you laughing at, Gary?
We do it.
We do it all the time.
But we do it.
I tell people, look, we're not going there. We're not going there. I say that. You stop the cursing. Stop the filth.
Go there.
Stop the disgusting filth.
I respect people who want to disagree. They don't believe in Catholicism. All those things are just fine. I like having fun. I don't want to argue.
Then tell him that before you do it. So look, Governor, I don't want to argue about religion. You're not going to change my mind. I'm not going to change yours. Let's talk about 9/11. And he'll go, that's it. You just have to sit back, cut your mic off. That's all you have to do.
Did he make any sense to you?
He does make sense.
Really? You actually believe
about 9/11?
About 9/11, you believe something
Here's
about that,
what they all...
Are you crazy?
All right. He says...
I'm setting some ground rules. Yeah. Don't go there.
Just keep it low. He says that for weeks on end, floors were vacant. I said, when did they put the bombs in the building? He said floors were closed off for weeks on end, and nobody knows what was going on in there. The building was not doing well, and it had a lot of empty spaces. And he says that he doesn't think the plane caused it to fall, and it imploded. I happen to have done a television show called Implosion, and I was there when they put the bombs in and all of that, and then it imploded. It was in Topeka, Kansas, or something like that. And we watched the building come down. And he said, why do you think it came down like that? They didn't build it to come down like that. And I said...
So listen.
Right.
All the people that they have in cell phone recordings that made those cell phone calls from those planes,
right,
those are all fake?
No, that happened.
So the plane actually flew into it, but they knew the plane was going to flow into
apparently.
Fly into it.
And then they set off, they detonated the bombs.
Okay, you know what this is?
What?
This is another show. Go back to...
No. I'm just telling you what he said.
And I'm telling you it's the dumbest thing on earth.
Okay. But anyway, then he said another building fell, and how did that fall, and all that. No, I didn't believe him.
Oh.
But even if you see that documentary, somehow people can twist things. It's like the Bible.
Well, I understand. That's why Jesse Ventura coming on the Catholic channel, it's one thing to allow somebody to say crazy nonsense.
Right.
But I feel if it's going to be about my faith, something I believe in so strongly, I'm going to argue with you because I'm passionate.
Does your whole show have to be about faith?
No, but it doesn't have to be. Oh, of course not. It's usually about me and trying to find girls.
Now, I heard you walked off your show because you didn't get enough phone calls one day.
Yeah.
I would leave the building. We'd be dead air all the time. I think the phones ought to be ringing from the moment I come on to the moment I get off, but that doesn't happen.
I'm insecure and I'm immature. And
who took over when you walked off?
I told them they'd played a replay or something.
Because they couldn't find a priest, and not many priests left.
There's not enough American priests. Somehow J. Thomas ties it all back together.
All right, Lino, good luck on your show today. Thanks.
One thing for Lino.
Yeah.
I do know what the 6 Station of the Cross is. I've been there.
You do know? Go ahead.
Now, you'll appreciate.
There's more than 6 stations.
Yes.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying. But Lino asked that question in the New York Times interview.
Mm-hmm.
Did you not?
Yes,
that's one of your contests.
Right, yeah.
One of your contests.
Absolutely.
Right. And they showed you with your feet up on the board and all like that. I thought that was very unprofessional looking, to be honest.
Really?
Now, look at me. I'm standing up. I wear a jacket to work. Look at me.
Yeah, well,
I'm standing up. You're
a gentleman.
You have more air in your lungs. You're more active when you stand up when you broadcast. You are better now than you've ever been on your show in the last 2 years.
Because I just was standing the entire time.
Absolutely. I'm listening to you here. I didn't even want you to come in today. I thought that guy's kind of tired all the time. He sounds sloth-like on the air. Listen to this. So I'm giving you a stand.
Already I've learned from the great Jay Thomas. This is what I needed to do. I needed to learn about how to do radio.
Thank you. Go ahead, Roddy. One final thing. What stations of the... Yeah.
Oh, it's where Christ gets his face wiped, correct?
That's number 6?
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yes. Well, Veronica wipes the face of Jesus.
Exactly.
Now, what happened to Veronica? Was she dating Archie then, or...
She ran off with a Lutheran.
What happened to Veronica? Was she made a saint because she wiped his face?
Yes.
That's unbelievable.
Well, you wiped his face.
Look what happened to Jughead.
Now, look.
Got a comic book.
Who knows whether she was a good person or not? She comes out, she wipes his face, and she gets to be a saint. I bet you a lot of other people had done better stuff than that.
Well,
I bet a lot of people were slapping their foreheads.
Going, why didn't I bring a rag with me?
I thought of that.
And then she goes and wipes their heads, too. No, but listen.
She was wiping everybody's head.
She's a head wiper. You know what she was? A homeless woman cleaning the windshields, and then Jesus comes by. Might as well wipe his face, you know?
Veronica actually means true image. That's what it actually means. We don't know if that's her real name or not.
Right.
But because she wiped the face of Jesus and on that cloth the image of Christ appeared, that's why her name is Veronica. We don't really know if that was her real name.
Now, there's a good Catholic boy. You should all genuflect in front of your radio. Look that one up. That's an oldie but a goodie Catholic word. This is the best of the Jay Thomas Show.
The Jay Thomas Show. It's the afternoon show.
We will say what you are thinking.
What can I say? The guy's good. It's the Jay Thomas Show. Jay Thomas. Indeed. Sirius XM 104.
We'll try and get Lino to talk about something naughty now on the Jay Thomas Show. He's from the Catholic Channel. Now, Lino, here we go.
Yes.
Here's what I wanted to say. Now, what were we talking about again?
We were talking about, apparently, you were talking about, the Jesus and the pancakes.
So watch this. Okay. So there were all of these miracles, the Pharaoh would have his magic man go against Moses. I mean, they would do all kind of magic stuff, a rope into a snake and a thing and turn the river blue and the red and the whole thing. And so then I've always said, why did that stuff stop? Why don't we see more signs? The Red Sea parted, the locusts would come. I mean, even Genghis Khan, called upon God, and a storm came, and all the Mongolians are frightened to death of lightning. Except he wasn't frightened of lightning, and that's what caused it, and he prayed for the lightning, right? Why is it that the French toast, the rag at the bar, the refrigerator with Jesus on it, why isn't that? Why don't you accept that as these little miracles, that are little things he's trying to show us?
Well, there's a big difference. So I'm saying, miracles still happen. All right, miracles can still happen.
Not like they used to.
No, I agree with you. I agree. No, you're asking me why.
Like if Karl Rove walks down the street and he's sucked into a manhole, something like that.
That would be a miracle.
Sure, it would. Unbelievable.
So miracles are always good things?
Well, no, that'd be a real bet that he had with Allah. You go, okay, I'll give you one. Yeah.
So in my mind, you're right. This is a question. This is a good question for God. The Book of Job, and maybe this is us just trying to come up with excuses.
But how else would he signal people? They're sitting on their porch, they're not doing anything, and he puts his image up on a refrigerator when you open the door a certain length.
Well, but there are times that in the 20th century, in fact, Jesus appeared to several people. Mary appeared to several people. All I'm saying is there are times. What
were they smoking?
I don't believe they were, I'll be honest.
By the way, if you have an image of somebody when you're stoned, why isn't that a real image?
I always think this is a false premise. I've gotten high hundreds of times. Are you telling me you've gotten high and seen... Be honest now, you've seen religious things?
No.
I never did either.
No.
But people sometimes say that. They're like, oh, Lino... I did shrooms, and then have you ever did shrooms? And you go, then I saw God. I go, well, I've done shrooms, and I've never seen God.
No.
There's real religious experience, and there's drugs.
We have Neil Anderson, who is from, where did your girlfriend live?
My girlfriend's from Minnesota. Ex-girlfriend.
You're back with her, though?
Well, I'm trying to get back with her. It looks like
But she's back in Minnesota, right?
Yes, things are promising.
Neil Anderson from Minnesota. Yes, Neil, you're a Lutheran. What do you want to add to this?
This is Neil, and I'm a Lutheran from St. Paul. St. Paul.
I got you.
Is this that God-hating Satanist Jake Thomas?
No, it is not.
Let me tell you something else. This Lino, He's a lying cat licker.
Now, wait a second.
That's right.
I'm not going to have
He's
that
all
kind of
his
talk. I'm not going to have
BS
that.
about Christ and the thing. I got the Pope's face in an omelet right
Hey,
here.
hey.
I made the Pope-mobile out of pieces of bacon, and you know what I got for it?
He made the Pope Mobile out of pieces of bacon, and he seasoned it in an omelet. Now, why wouldn't
God
you?
was a Satanist.
Yeah.
You're a Satanist.
Right.
I hope y'all.
What's your girlfriend's
Hell.
name? What's your first name?
Sarah.
Do you know a woman named Sarah that used to date almost a priest guy?
Yeah, you want to talk to her?
She's there right now. Okay.
Let me wake her up.
All right. That's Neil Anderson.
Honey, roll over.
I don't believe
Honey,
that for 1 minute.
roll over.
I don't mean.
Roll
Let's.
over.
All right. Quiet down.
Oh my God! I can see Jesus in the covers.
That's not. I don't think that's a Lutheran.
You're the strongest Jesus covers. Like I saw it.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you're. All right. Let's go to Paul of Salt Lake City before Leno says goodbye. Hey, Paul, the Jay Thomas Show with Leno from the Catholic Channel. Turn your radio down, buddy. Thank you. Paul?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Paul.
Yeah, my name is Paul from Salt Lake City. My problem is, from the moment I wake up to the time I go to bed, I'm haunted and tormented by the spirit of the late anthropologist Carlos Castaneda.
You are haunted by the spirit of the late anthropologist Carlos Castaneda.
Yes.
What was he? He was. What year was he living? What year did he live?
Well, he was born, believe it or not, on December 25th, the same day as Jesus, but in 1925, and he died around 1997, 98.
You know, I'm a spiritualist, and so I need to take this call, Leno.
Please go ahead.
You can help me with this. So you think that this great anthropologist, spell his name so we can find out all about him. Spell his last name, please.
Castaneda.
Castaneda with a C.
C-A-S-T-E-N-A-D.
Oh, okay. He comes.
Jay, I've read his book.
Yes. And what do you think of him?
He used to eat peyote buttons by the bushel.
He ate peyote buttons by the bushel, Paul. Do you do peyote, Paul?
No, I don't.
Now, when he comes to you, what sort of man does he look like? Does he come to you as an old man or as a young man? What does his vision look like?
Well, he's an old man, gray hair.
Mm-hmm.
He looks just like when I saw him at a seminar.
Oh, you saw him in person at one time?
Yes, I did.
Now, do you see anybody else ever? Has anybody else ever come to you?
No, he's the only one.
Have you ever been to a live concert?
No.
Have you ever been to a live stage show of any kind, a comedian or anything?
Yes.
Okay, which comedian did you see?
Tommy Chong.
You saw Tommy Chong. Now, after you saw Tommy Chong, did he ever come to you in a vision, Tommy Chong?
No.
All right. Now,
see, the way he's tormenting me is as a voice in my head. He never shuts up.
He never shuts up. And what is he telling you to do?
He wants you to be basically a slave. He's hunting awareness.
He wants you to be his slave?
Yeah.
This is horrible. You know what? Was he when you saw him speak that day, did you feel an evil presence around him?
No.
Right.
I was totally a big fan of his.
Mm-hmm.
He offered all of us fans to be a guide in the other world when he left, and that we should beckon to him after he left the world.
Well, okay, we're going to get rid of this in 1 second. So this guy didn't get enough people at the convention, so he what he did was he attached himself to your spirit. So this is one of these guys, like Leno didn't get enough phone calls, so he left the room. So this guy, Paul, Castanets, whatever his last name
Castaneda.
is. Yeah, Castaneda.
Carlos Castaneda.
Yeah, back me up on this, Rodney. He felt as though that he didn't get enough spirits, so he attached himself to poor Paul's brain.
That's right.
All right.
And he's outsourcing his spirituality.
All right, give me I'm going to write his name down right now. Give me the exact spelling. C-A-S.
No.
C-A-R-L-O-S, and then the last name C-A-S-T-N-E-D-A.
No. C-A-S-T-A-N-E-D-A.
Yeah.
C-A-S-T-A.
Yeah.
N-E-D-A. Carlos Castaneda. Correct?
Yes.
All right.
Exactly. Hey, Paul, did you read A Separate Reality?
Yes, I did.
Yeah,
all right.
You're living one.
Here we go. Paul, turn the radio off. What do you have, the cell phone there by your head?
Yeah.
I want you to think nothing. I don't want you to see. Can you bring his image up right now?
Press down on the aluminum foil slightly.
Can you see his image now in your head, Paul?
Yes, I can.
All right. I want all of us to put Paul Castaneda's
Carlos Castaneda.
Carlos Castaneda. Put
it out loud.
Put Carlos Castaneda. You know what, Lino? If you're going to laugh at this, you're going to have to leave the room.
You got to get the guy's name right.
Here we go. Carlos Castaneda, and we're going to say it together. We're going to say it
Paul Castaneda
5 times. Out, Carlos Castaneda of Paul. That's 1, 2. Let's practice. Out, Carlos Castaneda of Paul. Paul, and you say me, okay, Paul?
Say what?
You say out of me.
Say what?
Me. Not because you're Paul.
Yeah.
How do you know Paul wants him out of there?
You want him out, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Here we
Oh,
go.
he does. Okay,
all right,
fine.
now, please give us all your energy. Paul, give us your full attention. And, Paul, I'm not kidding. I have cured tumors on this show, and that's not a joke. I have had people hold the radio up, and I go, out tumor, out tumor, out tumor, out tumor, out tumor. And you know what? You know
Hey,
that...
Jay, remember when you taught Garrett how to speak?
And that black guy that was in The Great Santini, he came right through the door. Okay, here we go. Oh, you got to know that movie to think that's funny. You got to know.
That's a 70s reference.
Here we go. All right. So here's what we say. Out, Carlos Castaneda from Paul. I got it. Thank you. I don't need your help. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 5 times. Out, Carlos Castaneda from Paul. Out, Carlos Castaneda from Paul.
I think 3 times is enough.
Out, Carlos Castaneda from Paul.
That's enough.
2 more times. Out, Carlos Castaneda from Paul. Out, Carlos Castaneda from Paul.